Yo, we're live, and I look like I got like devil horns on my head.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what you were doing hairstyle-wise today, but it escaped my mind.
I don't know. It looks like. Year, hello to the final week of the NFL season.
Welcome to Week 18.
Final week, right?
Yes, it is. Playoffs start next weekend or the weekend after? Is there a break in between next weekend?
You know, the reason he doesn't know is because the Patriots ain't it.
Absolutely. I'm not going to hide it. Listen, I'm looking at college players, okay? Right now, we're holding the number one pick in the draft, so that means it's been an excellent season for the New England Patriots.
Is it excellent?
Yeah. You have your quarterback, and now you have the opportunity to continue to bolster some other areas of your football team.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? And this is a topic, and this is a perfect segue. You have your quarterback of the future, I'm assuming, right?
Correct.
I'm pretty sure I heard that about 3 years ago.
No, please. Nobody ever really believed in Mac Jones.
Oh, come on. He led y'all to the playoffs. Don't give me that.
When he had an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and then he didn't have an offensive. But when he had an offensive coordinator, you guys believed in him.
Even when he had the offensive coordinator, he was showing signs and doing things that, if you're paying attention to it, you could tell the signs were always there that he wasn't going to make it. Turnovers. The interceptions, just way too much.
Isn't Jersey May having turnovers?
Not the same ones over and over. He's not repeating the same mistakes. He's learning. I'm okay with a rookie making mistakes, but learn from them. Don't come out every single week and throw wild interceptions. No, okay. And that's what Mac Jones was doing for a period of time. Even now in Jacksonville, he's had the opportunity to play the past couple of weeks, and it's been a mess.
He has not been that great. Now, for full transparency, we're also watching the Browns and the Ravens play this game right here.
Oh!
And as much as I needed the Browns to win, they just do a pick six. If the Browns win and the Steelers win, we get.
You play Madden. You ever play in a game where you see the defender there and you throw the ball anyway?
Hey, yo, listen, that's Bailey Zappi.
That's what just happened.
Didn't y'all like Bailey Zappi at one point, like last year, in the last 2 years?
It was Zappy. We had Zappy fever around here for a couple of games when he came in and played, but oh man, I can't believe that in a pick six, first quarter.
Yeah, well, at least it's been 4 minutes in. So can't really complain too much. All right, so
wow.
I was getting crucified for agreeing with a take that Nick Wright had said. Well, partially. I agree with partial what Nick Wright said. Okay, I didn't agree with the whole thing. I agree with a part of it where I believe as a GM for the Patriots, now that you have the number one pick, it is your job to at least look at Shedeur Sanders to see if possibly he could be. Now, again, I don't watch that much college football. I'll be honest with you. But when I do, I have a person I like him. Like last year, I saw Jaden Daniels. I like Jaden Daniels. I believe he'd be the rookie of the year. How'd that take come out?
Should be
rookie of the year. I believe he was better than Caleb Williams and everything of that sort, but the whole Caleb Williams hype. And again, it's still too early to write off Caleb Williams, but still. I don't know that much about Shedeur. Okay. The issue is, as a GM, how often do you get the number one pick overall? Hopefully once every never.
That's true, right?
Once every never. You never want to get the number one pick overall. So with getting that number one pick, yeah, Drake May shows flash and promise. But if Shedeur Sanders is one of those like, oh my gosh, great talent, generational talent type quarterbacks, then you should look into maybe I take Shedeur and trade away Drake May for an additional first round pick.
You know what? You do take a look at him from the perspective of trying to pick up and learn some strengths and weaknesses. I've had the opportunity to see him play a few games this year, and the same thing that they've said about players like Kyler Murray and the Russell Wilsons, I don't know how his game's necessarily going to transfer to the NFL. And I mean, think about it. We had the conversation about, hey, have we adjusted the bar for quarterbacks? He would be a quarterback. He's more Michael Vick than he is Peyton Manning along the slider scale.
All right, so that's a different topic that we're going to have later today. Do you really want a Peyton Manning type quarterback in today's NFL, or would you rather Josh Allen, Mike Vick, Pat Mahomes, like you don't need to be a runner quarterback, but at least a mobile
You have to have a certain level of agility. Yes.
Are the pocket statues done in the NFL?
No, Joe Burrow.
He's not a pocket statue though.
He's more traditional quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. He wants to stay in the pocket and throw the ball.
Oh, agreed. Yes. With that, yes, I agree. He does.
You don't have to worry about, is my quarterback going to take off and have 1,000 yards rushing? No, he wants to be in the pocket throwing you the ball.
So should a quarterback in today's NFL, is Joe Burrow the last of them? Do you think?
Justin Herbert doesn't run around too much.
No, because he always gets cracked when he does. That's how he gets a cracked rib. And this man, he runs for his life. All right.
See, I guess traditionally for quarterbacks, you're looking for 6'5" and up, big, tall in the pocket.
Right now, so in today's NFL, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson are your prototypical quarterbacks that you want. Are they not?
Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, and who?
Lamar Jackson.
Probably more Pat Mahomes, definitely.
Yeah, probably more Pat Mahomes, because Pat Mahomes is the great quarterback right now.
Josh Allen would be at the middle of the road, and Lamar Jackson would be hey, if you're really just
other end
exactly,
of the
yes.
Yeah. So right now, let's take this into example. If you had to take Jaden Daniels right now, I would say Jaden Daniels has the Lamar running capabilities, but he's more of a Josh Allen where he doesn't run all the time because he wants to.
Agreed.
He looks for the pass first and then runs after. Lamar, I don't know if maybe this year he's been more of a look for the pass first and then run after, but typically we still see Lamar as not a run first, but like a quick to run.
Lamar's going to run for almost 1,000 yards this year, and I can't believe that.
Okay, yes, agreed. So, wait, did they already take Bailey Zappi out the game?
No, Zappi's still in. Listen.
Oh, so who were they showing that? Was that Mr. 30 for 30 himself?
Deshaun?
Not Deshaun. Which we got to talk about Deshaun. Not Deshaun. Who's Mr. 30 for 30? He was down with the Bucks. James Winston. Is that James Winston? Is that James
Oh, probably. Why isn't Winston playing? Is he
because
injured?
They're tired of the interceptions. They need to see what they got. Which,
listen, all jokes aside, he needs a reality show, okay? Because I would sit down and watch him just be himself. But anyway, go ahead.
Nah, he low-key does need a reality show. But
Lamar Jackson has 852 rushing yards this year. And that seems just...
So he's not going to get 1,000 in the season, but yeah.
Jaden Daniels has a little bit more than him. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, Jaden Daniels is running good. Yo, listen, a bad offensive line. The Commanders got a bad offensive line. Okay, the Commanders do not have a good offensive line at all. Okay, so... the prototypical quarterback, Josh Allen, and Pat Mahomes, far and Lamar Jackson-ish. Shedeur Sanders not in that mold?
I think he's more in the Lamar Jackson-ish mold, really athletic.
How many rushing yards did he have in college? I didn't know he was a rusher like that.
Maybe it's the games that I saw. And part of it is for the longest time, they criticized Colorado for having really bad offensive line.
They do have bad offensive line.
So it could just be I was seeing the games where because his offensive line because the offensive line wasn't doing what it needed to, he had to be out and about a bit more than usual. Listen, I'll give him that. He can take a hit. I've seen him get the wind knocked out of him only to pop up and be ready to go the next play. So he can take a hit. It's just, I'll be honest with you, I'm concerned. Just like Kyler Murray.
Hold on. I'm probably not seeing this right, but he rushed 100 times for negative 50 yards.
Who's this?
Shador. Last year. I don't know if they're counting kneel downs as a rush.
100 rushes for negative. No.
Yo, no, bro. Read that. Rushing 2024, 100 negative 50.
Well, that's an improvement over last year. Okay, last year was negative 77 yards.
Okay, so I don't trust this stat. I'm probably all right. Don't go to ESPN for that stat. But
if you get sacked, that doesn't count as negative rushing yards, does it?
No, it doesn't. It should even count as a rushing yard. Okay, hold on. Shador Sanders rushing yards. So we can't say the Lamar on it then.
Actually, yeah.
If anything, you can say more Caleb when trying to buy time to make a big play. I don't know about rushing. Oh, whoops. Open up an app. No, I'm really trying to find this because there's no way that's right.
Where'd you go? ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN was the one that said that. No. Okay, so he's not a rusher because I just went to Sports Reference and yeah, no, he's not a rusher.
No, you're right. 100 rush attempts for negative 50 yards. Well,
so he's not a rusher. Maybe he holds on to the ball too long, but he's not a rusher.
he's thrown for he threw for 4,000 yards.
So in that sense, again, I'm not saying that before I get crucified. I'm not saying the Patriots should. All I'm saying is, well, I'm not even going that far. Should the Patriots even just like at least take a look at Shador?
Absolutely. Listen, if you're from a practical standpoint, you want to have the best competitive edge that you possibly can. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not going to draft him, it makes sense for you to at least poke around and get a sense of, wait, what is this kid about? Let's see where he's at right now versus down the line when we see him, where he's going to be at. What's he comfortable? What does he like? So you can still, even in not drafting a player, bring him in and learn a lot about them.
Oh, I don't know if you heard, that's what Mike Tomlin does for a lot of top 10 picks. He brings at least 2 in every year just to interview him. And he's always like, I know I'm not going to get a chance to draft you. I just want to see you as a person.
And also, it could play a role with some of these players who don't necessarily have their first contracts, the 5th-year option picked up. Mm-hmm. This gives you a leg up. Hey, let's start building a rapport now. This might be somebody that down the line that we target.
That's really what he does. Because who did he do that for last? It was Minka Fitzpatrick was one of them. And Justin Fields. He interviewed Justin Fields during the draft process.
Okay.
Look at it now. Justin Fields is like, yeah, no, I wanted to play with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I knew he told me he wouldn't be able to draft for me, but we got it.
See, still something to be gained, whether it be building the relationship for something down the line, or again, just learning some strengths and weaknesses. These are players that you're going to be facing in the coming year. So let's find out what you're about.
If I was a GM, right, and if I was the Patriots GM, the first question I would ask is, obviously someone scouted Colorado. They might not have scouted Shador Sanders, but obviously they scouted Travis Hunter. Someone scouted Travis Hunter. Okay? So if they scouted Travis Hunter, so then you definitely got tape on Shador. Just got to ask the question. If Shador and Drake May were both in the same draft class this year, who would I draft? And just by asking that question, that's you researching into Shador. Is it not? Should that not be the question that you should have, or you should ask yourself this year? You know what? We do have one, but you know what? We could. Okay, now obviously for the number 1 pick, you could you could get 2 first rounders. You swap this year's first and get a first for next year, and maybe a second and a fourth between this year and next year, something like that. Okay. You get all that in the haul for the number 1 overall. Now, if you were to look for Drake May's value, you probably could upsell him on all the promise that he's shown. Oh, Lamar.
He tried to throw a hook hook pass.
Hook shot. Yeah, no, he saw was it Kareem? He saw Kareem and he was watching some old
Wait a minute, what?
Yo, listen. All right, Browns, let's score a touchdown here, baby. Let's go. So just so y'all know, we just saw Lamar Jackson try to do a hook shot pass to Derrick Henry. What was I saying? I'm sorry. That play really distracted me.
It did. It really did. What as a GM, you really got to do your work.
Ask that question. So for Drake May, what could you possibly get? You could possibly get a first round if you sell the promise and the flashes that he's shown. At worst, you know who? You know who you could probably trade him to for like a late first round?
The Cowboys?
No, not the Cowboys. I ain't gonna go that far. How many more years does Kyler Murray have?
Are you serious? You ready to throw the towel in on Murray?
Did he show anything to want to keep?
He's been injured. He was injured.
He's always injured.
That's
risk. Part of the tape on him.
That's the risk with some of these smaller quarterbacks.
Yes, he's always gonna be hurt. Like if the guaranteed money on Kyler Murray was over at the end of this year, I would take a look into a second round for Drake May. That's what the Arizona Cardinals would say. And the Patriots would be like, no. How about a first round? And they'd be like, no. Okay, fine. A second round plus James Conner. They got a backup running back over there.
You want to send Drake May away for a second rounder and James Conner?
Yo, listen, but conversations will be had.
I'm taking Ramondre Stevenson over Conner.
So let me ask you this. Oh, fair enough. What package if you were to trade Drake May, who would you want?
We can say on the Arizona example, if we're going to send Drake May away, in theory, with the mindset of grabbing Shedeur Sanders, we need weapons. Getting a new quarterback isn't going to change the situation.
That many weapons. The two weapons that they do, the three weapons that they do have on offense is Kyler Murray,
Trey
McBride,
Marvin Harrison Jr.
and Marvin Harrison Jr. You know they're not getting away from Marvin Harrison Jr.
He performed well from the team standpoint. He led the team in receptions and yards and whatnot. However, I was a bit whelmed.
By Marvin Harrison?
Yeah. I was expecting a bit more. I was expecting more.
Do you remember when we were first talking about Marvin Harrison? This was during the draft stream. It was like 5 hours long. It's still on the channel. Go check it out if y'all want. I didn't like Marvin Harrison's and Caleb Williams for that fact. I don't want to say demeanor, but more or less like I understand you don't want to go to the combine. You may not want to go to the combine, or you may not want to like put out numbers. To me, it shows that you're hiding something. And I get it because the people who are defending Marvin Harrison didn't run. I don't even think he went to the combine, or if he went to the combine, he just sat over there and just like took his physicals and then left.
He had his father coaching him, and I wouldn't be surprised if
that's what it was. And
Senior was like, nah.
Everyone was like, no, listen, check the tape. Okay, cool. I checked the tape, but it's the tape. You don't even want to run the 40. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. I don't want to say it's giving prima donna vibes, but it's like this is beneath you, but you're a rookie. I get your tape looked great. A lot of people's tape looked great in college.
That's true. This year, 57 catches, 822 yards. I don't know why. Maybe I bought into the hype of whose son he was.
Because of the name.
And
in college, he was a monster.
How he carried himself about, hey, not run like, oh, wow. This is, okay.
He was a monster. But just when you don't do it, I'm not trying to say you're trying to hide or that you have to do it. And obviously, doing the combine and not doing the combine did not help his stats. That had nothing to do with his stats. But the mindset, because he also held out. He's holding out with Fanatics, or he was holding out with Fanatics, based off a contract, and that's a contract conversation. Nothing to do with the thing, but it's just like, you know what I mean? The air around you right now is kind of like, bro. But then when he got there to the Arizona Cardinals and he practiced, again, a lot of people like, he's Marvin Harrison's son. I'm pretty sure Marvin Harrison's helping him with practice. You know what I mean? He probably, like, training camp, him not being at training camp is not going to kill him because his father knows what he needs to be doing. I get that logic. But sometimes it's just, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Damn, what a sack. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I mean?
No, agreed. As a rookie coming in, as a young player coming in, there are expectations. We're not used to always seeing players that just withdraw themselves so much from participating. Just so at the bare minimum, people can get a sense of who you are and see you. He came in with a lot of hoopla. Like I said, I'm underwhelmed with his year one. It could be the fact that Kyler Murray was out.
No, it wasn't because of Kyler Murray. Because even
7 touchdowns, 57 receptions, 7 touchdowns, 822 yards. Now, for a rookie,
that's not bad. But also, when you take a look and compare it to Malik Neighbors this year, who else was the other rookie quarterback? I'm running wide receiver that was balling this year.
Malik Neighbors is the name that came up a lot. I mean, some of the other people around him, George Pickens, 58 catches, 900 yards. Elijah Moore, 58 catches, 500 yards. Mike Gesicki, 57 catches, 560. So, DeAndre Hopkins, 56 catches, 610 yards. So he's not.
But when you look at, okay, so honestly, the only one that really had a real good season was Malik Neighbors. Rome Odunze was, Brian Thomas, but that's because Trevor Lawrence was out. He's on the Jaguars. Lad McConkey, my laddie. He also was just like, it's a run first offense, so I'm not really stressing it that much. So I don't know for the Marvin Harrison. Okay, yeah. So Marvin Harrison is still not up for trade. You're not getting Marvin Harrison now. What trade? Like what team? What trade would you get for Drake May?
None of the teams if you take the Patriots out of the top 5, that leaves you with the Titans, Browns, Giants, and Jaguars. None of these teams have anything that.
First off, I can tell you right now, Titans, Browns, Giants, and Jaguars are not giving up the top 5 pick for Drake.
So we're looking for a middle of the pack NFL team.
You can probably get in the early teens. Maybe. I feel like it's the highest you could get. So let's take a look. I'm pulling up right now. Would the Colts want that? Are they going to close the door and be like, you know what? The Anthony Richardson experiment is over.
We've seen enough, right? We've seen enough with that, correct?
I'm disappointed in him. I really wanted him to succeed. I was hoping he was going to be another Lamar Jackson type story.
Anthony Richardson or Tim Tebow?
I'm a Tim Tebow fan. So
as am I, so that's not a fair question to ask. Because
listen, as much as I get it. This man did not look good in practice.
He wins. That's all he does. Listen,
it wasn't even like the defense carried him. He wins. He get touchdowns.
He'll be 2 for 15 for the whole game, and in the fourth quarter, he's gonna hit the next 4 passes. They're all gonna be perfect. It's gonna be like, well, we can work with that, you know.
No, listen, that's just my only issue. Tebow time, man. Like he didn't lose you games.
Yeah, despite his deficiencies, he wasn't gonna go out there and make a lot of mistakes and do things that was gonna cost you the game. But the Anthony Richardson experiment, I got one for you.
I
think it should be over.
The Saints.
They give us Kamara. They give us.
Why would you want Kamara? I thought you said you like Ramondre Stevenson.
I do, but this still has to be worth our while. We need weapons.
So wait.
We can't.
You can't give Drake May to get the number, not swapping picks, just Drake May straight up.
Oh, so just
I'm not saying Drake May and your number one. I'm saying just Drake May. If you want, the Saints honestly should look into it because you do not want to bring Derek Carr back, and you definitely know Spencer Rattler is not the answer. Like, okay, so if let's hypothetically go. You're the Patriots. You're the Patriots. I'm the Saints. I will give you the number 10 pick overall because that's where they're at right now.
The number 10 pick for Drake May. That sets the organization. That keeps the organization essentially exactly where it is.
No, but then you draft Shador number 1 or Cam Ward.
Correct, and we're starting over again.
Yeah, no, but at 10 you could get a wide receiver again. You could get a top 10 draft wide receiver, or an offensive lineman.
Based on what I've seen out of Drake May, I would be inclined to keep him. I wouldn't, and see again, I wouldn't be comfortable rolling the dice on a Shador Sanders, based on the fact that I have Drake May.
Okay.
And watching him play, he's a baby Josh Allen.
Okay, so just by as a GM, I feel like as a GM, it is your job to look at every possible avenue of what is available to you, and just feel the call.
So okay, fine. Let's play this game. Fine, we trade him to the Saints. We get the number 10 pick, right?
Number 10 pick.
So we now still have the first pick and the 10 pick.
So you decide between Shador or Cam Ward.
And who are they throwing the ball to?
You could draft another receiver at the 10th overall.
But see, those are all steps backward.
How's that a steps backwards?
Because the past few years, the organization has gone through enough losing. They're trying to very quickly get back to winning ways.
And getting 2 top 10 picks
doesn't assure you to get back to winning ways. We still have Gerard Mayo as the coach.
Okay.
We have a head coach who we don't know what his specialty is. Who he should be a defensive-minded guy, but we're not sure what he does.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay. Let's say you keep Drake May. So then, what is the move that will not set you back? I don't see how this move necessarily sets you back, but what is the move that will not set you back?
If we keep Drake May, we need to shore up our offensive line.
So what are you gonna do with the number 1 pick? You gonna trade it?
Trade down, yeah.
Okay, to get a first. Let's just
trade down to say 6, 7 range,
okay,
6, 7, 8.
Say a top 10 pick regardless, and a first round pick for next year is included.
Hey, that works even better.
And then, because that's pretty much the price of a number 1 overall pick right now. So a first this year, a first next year, and a second and fourth, whatever. So now what are you going to do with the other pick in the first round that you traded back for?
We need as many picks as we possibly can have at the moment because we don't know.
At the moment, you only get 1.
The current Patriots organization, the people running the show, they don't have a real track record. So for those group of people, you need as many picks as possible because you have to draft players. You have to draft players because not everything's going to hit.
Get like 4 picks. You're probably only going to get 4 picks.
I'm keeping May, going with a couple of those picks and then jumping into free agency.
Okay, so number 1, so you draft an offensive lineman with your top 10 pick this year.
There's an offensive lineman. I can't remember what his name is.
Okay, but let's just say so.
Yeah, I go offensive line.
That's the only. Let's say there's another offensive lineman that you draft in the second round. Okay?
Step in the right direction.
You draft 2 offensive linemen. Okay, and that's really all you get for the number 1 overall pick. You only get 2 picks. Let's just say you get a second round this year, a first and second round this year.
Okay.
You only get 2 picks this year. Okay. So 2 offensive linemen. Right? I just want to go with the logic with you. If you trade Drake May, you're gonna still get a top 10 pick. You're gonna get the number 10, and you don't have the other second round pick. You still have your second round pick was gonna be 2-1. So did you really set yourself back?
I don't trust the offensive personnel here to develop anyone new.
So then it doesn't matter if you keep Drake May or Shador or trade Drake May or do whatever. You don't trust your coaching, your personnel office.
Yeah, actually.
That has nothing to do with whether you have Shador or trade Drake May or not.
It's just based on what you've seen thus far, I can't see us walking away from that and then going to a Shador. smaller player.
Okay, what about Cam Ward?
Cam Ward's pretty nice. I don't know the numbers on him size-wise or whatnot. Because the direction that the NFL is going, you need bigger play. You need less of the Kyler Murray types and more.
That small?
He's 6'2". He's Lamar Jackson size.
Okay, so he's not small.
6'2". It's not the biggest.
Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson are under 6 feet.
5'9".
Yeah. So therefore, you made it sound like Shador was like Russell Wilson size. He's still taller than Russell Wilson.
6'2". Yeah, so, and I mean, that, a little while ago, I was looking at Lamar Jackson, think, okay, you know what? Lamar represents somewhat of the prototypical modern day super athletic quarterback, 6'2". Since he's been in the league, the talks about him has been, Jesus, is he going to be able to sustain and take the hits? And he seems to do okay.
So
I'm not fully sold on Shador yet. Cam Ward, I'm more sold on Cam Ward. I've seen a few of his games.
No way. Najee Flowers down with a knee injury. That better be a bruise.
See? Here's the argument for Week 18 performance.
Listen. If I'm John Harbaugh, I'm like, all right, Lamar, out. Derrick Henry, out. We're done. We're done. Season, let's focus on next week.
Well, it doesn't look like there was any contact.
It looks like almost a non-contact injury. Because someone slapped the knee?
Let's hope it's just a sprain.
An overreactive reaction to the sprain?
Hey, these wide receivers are known to be divas.
So, okay. Because I want us to get to it. Because at first you're saying we can't Drake May.
No, based on what I've seen thus far, I would prefer to keep him. I view drafting a new quarterback, bringing him in as just another, it's going to take X number of years. However, if in potentially making the swap, you're increasing your chances of drafting a few players that are going to be able to come in and help make that impact. I'm just personally not fully sold on Shador Sanders.
I'm going to create a poll. And then I'll see if I can get an answer next week. I'm going to create a poll on Twitter. Drake May, Cam Ward, Shador Sanders. If they were all in this year's draft, what order would these quarterbacks be taken off the board?
Have you seen Cam Ward play?
I haven't really watched college football this much this year. When I was watching last year, it was because I knew my Steelers were going to get a top pick. So I was really doing my research then. I knew we weren't going to get a top pick because I knew that with either Justin Fields or Russell, we were going to do pretty well. Okay. So for the past 2 years, I've been watching because I did not believe in Kenny Pickett. Which we could talk about Kenny Pickett later today with his start against the Eagles against the Cowboys, was it? Looked really, really good. Because as much as that makes Kenny Pickett look good, to me it helps bolster my argument against Jalen Hurts.
How so?
Is it really Jalen Hurts or the staff of the team around him? Listen, nobody before this season was talking. Oh, okay, so when the person landed on his leg, someone landed on his leg. Okay. No one was talking about Kenny Pickett ever doing good. And he had a great game against the Cowboys last week. Threw for 3 touchdowns, I believe.
Yes, he did.
If Kenny Pickett can do it, does Jalen Hurts look that good? Because you know what? Listen. Do you remember when Dak Prescott cracked his leg in half? And then the backup was Cooper Rush, I believe, at the time? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember how bad the Cowboys were? Said, all right, cool. Dak definitely is in. Dak lifts his team up. Mr. Hurts, your team's kind of put better offensive numbers with you off the field.
Listen,
the passing never looked that good.
All you need to know is that AJ Brown, one of the quietest wide receivers, a couple of weeks ago, when asked what could be improved, what's going on?
Have like 3 touchdowns that were called back or something like that. Like, yo,
ask that man directly. Hey, what could improve on your team? Passing.
Done deal.
Oh.
Hold on. Lamar's still in the game.
Yes, he is. He didn't get.
I would have yanked everyone out.
I'm thinking they're at least going to play the first half.
Okay, and after my number one wide receiver got hurt, guess what? Everyone's day is done. Am I crazy for that?
No, you're not crazy. However, I do like my players having some type of rhythm going into the playoffs. Okay, especially
Greg, who's gonna have? The only people gonna have a rhythm right now is Lamar Jackson with who? The second and third string. Mark Andrews.
Henry's playing. Bateman's still out there.
They sat down Saquon. What the hell? Henry is like, yo, listen, just hand me the ball. Whoever's in front of me, God bless their soul.
No, Zay Flowers is definitely not coming back in this game.
He's going to the locker room.
All right, guys.
All y'all off the field. You remember there was about 3-4 years ago, the Ravens were holding a practice, and two players in that same practice tore their Achilles or tore their ACL. John Harbaugh canceled practice for the rest of the day.
Must be the field.
So does he need another person to get injured before he takes everybody out?
Mark Andrews.
Do you need another person to get hurt before you take him out? Now, I'll
say it's a violent sport. People could get hurt on any play whatsoever. So whatever.
Now, again, I am biased because I do want the Browns to win. But still, at the same time, I don't want to see an injured, riddled team going to the playoffs.
Look, let's keep the guys performing as well as they can.
You got the second. You finished this drive. Congratulations.
Offense scored a touchdown. Defense scored a touchdown. 14-0.
Get off the field. Stay off.
We good, guys. Mark Andrews is older. You want to get your vets anyway off the field.
Yeah. Anyway,
because you're right. You know what? This is the Week 18 game. A lot of these guys aren't used to playing this. This would theoretically be the playoffs for some of these guys in the past.
Yeah, but 2 years ago, this would have been a playoff game. This would have been wild card weekend.
Yeah, Lamar's done.
Yeah, no, he should be done. So I'm gonna put that poll up. Cam Ward, Shador, Drake May. Now I feel like Shador might win that one just because of popularity. And I really, honestly, as much as I don't know about Shador, I know absolutely nothing about Cam Ward, other than the fact that he came in, broke the record, and sat out the rest of the game. And that pissed off a lot of people.
Did you think he should have played the whole game?
Honestly, I don't blame college players who are like, I don't want to play in the
meaningless.
Yeah, because I've already played with this team for 3 years. This is their third year because usually you have to do 3 years. I don't really, I care to win the bowl, but I care more about my draft stock. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lose out on $20 million, $40 million, $50 million guaranteed difference to play in a bowl game when I'm not gonna be here next year. Now, if you're playing next year, like if it was not the year you're going to the draft, play the game.
Agreed.
If it's the year you're going into the draft, I don't blame you for not wanting to play, or at least do what Prime did, which was expensive. But did you hear what he did for his Colorado players? He bought insurance on them. If for some reason they can't play football again after the bowl game, they got like a $100 million injury settlement.
For the entire team or per player?
The entire team.
Oh, okay. That's
No. If a player, like let's say even the wide receiver number
it couldn't be $100 million per player. It's probably $100 million for the entire.
No. It's definitely. Okay, the only way it pays out is if for some reason they had to cut off your leg. It's one of those type of insurance claims where it's like
so it's not really something that
in career ending. All right, it's not like if you tore your ACL, they're not paying you the settlement because you still have a future. You just lost out on $50 million because you're no longer a first round pick.
Actually, that's a nice touch. It's a nice little protection for these guys.
But it's also expensive as hell.
I could imagine.
Yeah, no, because the insurance agency's like, yeah, nah. So, all right, so we'll come back to this conversation next week when we talk about Oh, next week. Not is it next week? We're gonna be recording draft preview for the teams that don't make the playoffs. So this will be a topic of conversation that we come back, and I'll give you the answers from the. Oh, what a tackle from the poll.
Ward and Shador Sanders have very similar numbers for 2024. They're both 6'2". They're both just over 200 pounds, 4,300 yards.
Also, to answer your question about was that meant they only played a half, or he just came in to break the record and then left. It showed that he actually cares about individual accolades, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He's like, I want my name in the history books. That's a player that shows me I want to be in the history books. And honestly, I want that from one of my top tier players.
In a sport where they preach nothing but the team mentality, to come out and play a half, and didn't they went on to lose the game?
They did. Hold on one second.
How much does that matter? You play the game. What's the coach? You play to win the game.
Yep.
You play to win the game.
I don't know.
Herm Edwards. Was that the light? Or was that the power source?
Yeah, my laptop. It was about to die.
Whoa.
And we're back. My fault on that.
They took Zappy out. I don't know if you noticed. I don't
Did
even
they really?
I don't recognize this third string quarterback.
No, that's Zappy still.
No, it's
Yeah. Because they only have 3 quarterbacks: Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, Zappy, and Dorian something Thompson.
There was a light-skinned guy throwing the ball a few plays ago. Okay, it wasn't Zappy.
It wasn't. That's all you need to know. But where? All right, cool. So we'll put a pin on the whole Patriots and the first pick and opportunities with that first pick. Because honestly, when you have the first pick overall, the world is your oyster. You literally could just sit down like this at the combine and tell every team, come over here. All right, cool. If you ain't giving me 2 first rounds in a second, then just keep going.
Unless some of these teams start calling you bluff, hey, and make the Patriots pick somebody at number 1.
Okay, cool. Well, first off, let me tell you something right now.
Now the Patriots have to hit, and that's the problem. You could.
Well, no, it's not. They can't. No team would want to call your bluff because honestly, as the Patriots, this is exactly what I'm going to say. You know, you get your pick. You don't want because the Titans aren't going to trade back. The Titans are taking a quarterback.
The Browns need a quarterback too.
Well, they just restructured again.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they did. Cool. Listen, I think they're just paving the road so that they can eventually get rid of him.
He cannot leave next year because of the restructure.
Okay, who's to say that you don't still? Yes, you grab that quarterback, sit him down for the
That's
year.
what you want to say is the Patriots. The Browns might take a quarterback. We don't know, but if they don't, you know for damn sure the Giants will.
The Jaguars, I don't think they're gonna throw in that title.
So right now, the Titans and the Giants definitely want that pick. Okay, and if you don't trade with us, the Tennessee Titans are gonna get something. Then the Vegas Raiders are going to trade with the Browns to get that.
The Raiders are where? Raiders are 6-7 right now.
8. The Raiders are going to trade with the Browns to get that pick, and then guess what you have? No quarterback. So you really want to play? You want to play chicken? You want to play chicken with a franchise quarterback?
But some of these teams, if the Raiders to get that pick, they would need to give up their number 8 pick plus presumably a number 1 next year, which is likely to be good because the team is the way that it is now, and so.
Well, I could see the Raiders with Brock Bowers and a quarterback and Max Crosby on defense.
I heard the craziest thing today that what's his face? That coach Gruden is being considered again to come back and coach the Raiders.
Not the Raiders. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. That would be hilarious. No. I don't want to hear that one. But no, the Raiders would have to get first this year, first next year, maybe a second this year, or maybe a second next year. But it could do like, we'll give you a first and a third this year, a first and a second next year.
If you have your quarterback, that's going to mask a lot of things, but it's just so much to give up. And if these picks don't hit,
a franchise, there is no too much for a franchise quarterback. There is no too much for a franchise quarterback. Let's just be honest.
A real franchise quarterback.
Yes.
That's true.
Here's the thing.
No, that's true, because you know what?
But I have one more thing I want to. And I've heard this somewhere. This was years ago, and he says the issue with the issue with quarterbacks getting drafted in the first round, it's not their fault. When we sit over here at the end of the season, we immediately know right now it's only 2 quarterbacks worth getting drafted pretty much in the first round. Maybe a third one, but late third round. Okay. When you sit over here, the draft's not until April. You go from January to April. You keep watching the film on the third quarterback, and the fourth quarterback. Keep watching it and watching it and watching it. You talk yourself into, oh, this quarterback can actually be good. Oh, I can make this.
I can make something out of him.
Oh, shoot, I better pick him up before someone else picks him up. That's how Mr. Trubisky gets drafted.
Analysis paralysis?
I don't even want to call it paralysis. Analysis, overreaction, overhype. It's that, because it's like being in a think tank, in an echo chamber. Because you and all your scouts sit over here like, well, you know, he does have a pretty good drop back. The form is there. You know, it's just a little accuracy, but you know, no quarterback's perfect in the college ranks. Yeah, no, he's not Caleb, but you know, he got this. Prime example. Actually, no, that didn't happen this year. But Zach Wilson, they talked themselves into it.
Yeah.
You talk yourselves into drafting the player you're gonna draft.
Damn it, I can't recall who the quarterback was they were comparing him to. Weren't they comparing him to like a baby Mahomes or something along those lines? Because he was making some unbelievable throws on the run. He's coming to the league and just...
And teams will talk themselves into another quarterback getting drafted top 5. I will, if I could go on DraftKings right now, I'll look for the bet. 3 quarterbacks will be drafted in the top 5 picks. Okay, remember last year's draft?
Yeah,
did we see 7 quarterbacks going in the top 15?
There's going to be a quarterback who has an unbelievable workout that has everyone saying, whoa, hold on.
Exactly. It'll be like, whoa, I didn't see this. Hold on, let's go. Oh, he did show flashes of it over here. He did show flashes of it over there. No, they talked themselves into it. Okay?
That does happen every
so
year.
If I'm the Patriots, I'm like, listen, you really want to play chicken with the future of your quarterback? With the future of your franchise? Like, you were in the top 10. And honestly, okay, Raiders, yo, listen, isn't this your like 3rd, 4th year in the top 10? Either you want to be a habitual top 10 drafter and still stay here, or you want to get the quarterback with the number 1 pick overall. Because every time you come back, it's because you never gotten number 1. You finally got a chance to get number 1.
I don't know. See, this is what the GMs get paid the big bucks for.
So, all right. So we're gonna stop all the Patriot talk on that one for right now. This Chad Ochocinco commercial always gets me.
Is that Buffalo Wings?
No, it's just a ESPN commercial. Picture. Hibachi, instead of a hot dog walker, a hibachi one. Get some steak flinging at you. Like, yo, that joint just gets me. So let's talk about the week 18 rest versus play. I will personally say, let's start with the Eagles and then we'll go to other teams as well. I'm honestly really annoyed that Saquon's sitting.
Why? He's a running back. He takes a pounding throughout the year. If you could have him a bit fresher.
Etch your name in stone. The record. He really could have broken the record. He could have broken it in 1 quarter. Because honestly, you don't let it be a touchback. You get the ball down at the 10 and 4 rush attempts to Saquon. He's gonna get 90 yards right there. And honestly, the other thing is, I do believe some players on the Giants love Saquon so much, especially on the defensive side, they would not have tried too hard to tackle him.
You don't have an issue with the fact that it took an 18-game season to potentially get this record broken?
No, because if he had got it in 20 carries, he still would have been in less carries than Eric Dickerson had it. I think he was 45 carries less from Eric Dickerson. So I don't care about the number of games. He did in less carries.
Okay.
Now, typically, the number of carries also would not have phased me if he was within 20. So, like, I don't know if the number was like 348 carries. If he got it within less than 375, I still would not have a problem with it. If he got it at like 400 carries, like,
okay,
50 carry difference, I mean, like, yeah, no, then it's because of the 18th game season. So, you don't think he should have gone for it?
He goes for it, he gets it, and they lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Or he doesn't go for it, he doesn't get it,
and they still lose. So I guess it's one of those things where it would have been great to watch. Listen, if the NFL is trying to get ratings, it would have been great to, hey, make sure you play him this week. However, they're not going to play him. I'm cool with them sitting him because the running back position takes such a beating and pounding. If you really want the Eagles to be at their best going into the playoffs, since they're not going to have a first round bye, you rest him. Jalen Hurts, as you've kind of been hinting at all season long, you can't necessarily put all your eggs in his basket. So let's make sure that the running back position that's really played a major role in getting here, let's make sure he's good to go.
Let me ask you this. If he actually played tomorrow, would he have broken the record, in your opinion? If you were to put a percentage on it, he just need 101 yards to break the record. Do you believe?
Based on his performance this year, he would be more likely than not to break the record.
Put a percentage.
Better than 50%. 75%, 73% chance to break the record.
So let's just round it down to 70.
Okay.
Do the Eagles have a 70% chance to win the Super Bowl?
I don't know this year. Their play has been a little bit up and down. All signs are pointing towards Chiefs, Lions is what signs are pointing to. You know, the tea leaves on the wall. Oh, I'm sorry. The Steelers and Lions.
No. Honestly, right now, if I was to pick a team from the AFC, I actually, realistically, the Bills. I think AFC could be Bills, and I believe Lamar's still in the damn game.
Whoosh! Oh, nice little juke move. Nice juke move.
Why is Lamar still in the game? Yo, do you know what?
I told you they're probably gonna play the first half.
Listen, not speaking this, but in all
Ooh,
seriousness,
he got hit.
We all saw Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose was never the same. Game was over. Stop it.
No.
You already lost Zay Flowers for God knows how long. Maybe it's a game, maybe it's not.
What happens if the Ravens lose this game? They fall to 11-6.
If the Ravens lose this game and my Steelers win,
the Steelers
they drop to 5.
Excuse me. All the more reason why they're gonna play the starters.
You dropped to 5 and play the Texans.
Right now they're in what, 3?
Yes.
Who's the 6 seed?
I just had this open.
I did too. Damn, I shut it off.
1 second here.
Yeah, I got that.
NFL playoff picture.
Yep, Ravens are in 3. They could potentially drop
to 5. I don't think they go below 5.
So it'd be 2-6. So it'd be Bills, Chargers. Who would move up to 3?
The Steelers would be 3.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be 5 and play the Texans, or they stay where they are and they play the Chargers. Honestly, putting it that way.
No, the Bills play the Chargers.
No, the Bills play whoever's 7, which right now is the Broncos.
Oh, excuse me, jeez.
Yeah. Bills play Broncos or Bengals. So the real question is, do you want to play the Chargers at home or the Texans on the road?
Both the Texans and Chargers have young, unproven playoff quarterbacks.
Yeah, but the Chargers scare me more than the Texans. Hold your breath. No. Who would you rather play? Texans on the road or at home against the Chargers?
I'm with you. Justin Herbert scares me a little. I like what Harbaugh is down there doing in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
Texans have taken a step back-ish this year.
They have. I honestly don't mind my Steelers going into the playoffs playing the Texans. As much as I want a home game for the Steelers, I'll live with them playing the Texans. Because don't forget, for my league, you have to make a playoff prediction. Right now, it'd be, let's say, Bills versus Broncos in the first round. Bills win. All right? Mm-hmm. This is going as if it started today. Ravens versus Chargers. Ravens should win, but it's going to be a real close game. Texans Steelers. I'm picking the Steelers to win. Close game. Can you stop putting your players in? The Browns are not playing soft. The Browns are hitting. Okay?
And they have nothing to play for.
So the Steelers would end up playing the Chiefs in the first round. And then the Ravens would end up playing the Bills in the second round. And honestly, and I know this sounds crazy, I'd rather face the Chiefs than the Bills or the Ravens.
Because everyone is predicting that the Chiefs have fallen off, and you think that this is the prime year to...
It's not even about it being the prime year or them falling off. They're not as scary. We all remember that Chiefs offense and what it could be. The offense this year does not, and again, yes, the Chiefs beat the Steelers. That's the first time they scored 30-something yards. We didn't have Joey Porter. Okay? And again, actually, side note, just on a commercial. Why is Taco Bell selling chicken nuggets?
I saw that commercial recently too.
It's right.
I wasn't even looking up there. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, you should probably stick to what you do best. But
anyway, yes. All right. So back to the conversation. Yeah, no, I fear. Should that be another poll question I put? Who'd you rather want to face on the road? Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens?
I said it several times this year. The Chiefs have hit that groove that the Patriots were in, where next man up, doesn't matter how it looks, we're going to come out, we're going to get the job done.
You just don't worry, they're going to beat themselves.
Correct. The last couple of weeks, Kelsey's picked it up. Mahomes is playing a bit better. So they're looking better at the right time of year.
Yes, they are. I cannot deny that. It's not something to deny. But no, I'd rather face the Chiefs. If I was to rank it, it would be damn, what a pop up. Chiefs, Ravens, Bills. Bills really scare me.
Josh Allen is playing out of his mind right now. One of the reasons why he's in the MVP conversation, because it seems that year in and year out, he loses something and we all say, that's going to be the end of him. And then he says, oh yeah, watch this. This year, I did not have them performing that well, as well as they have. I had the Jets winning the AFC East, and I couldn't have been any more wrong. But Josh Allen has just come out, and he's made a believer out of me.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Actually, since you brought up the MVP talk, I think Saquon Barkley's out of the MVP conversation, but not playing this week.
As a running back, the only reason that he would have won it would have been if he hit broke the record. Okay, hey, just hand it to him because I think the record stood for 40 years. So yeah, that removes him from the conversation. And during the last week here, it boils down to what Jackson and Allen are going to do. Although Nick Wright this week had the argument that if we're just going to if we really care about the stats and the numbers, that we should really be including Joe Burrow in the MVP conversation, and I can't say that I disagree with him. I agree.
He is 100% right. Because what is everyone's stance on? It should be Josh Allen's MVP. It should be. He's no weapons around him, and again, I know he got Amari Cooper midway through the season, but lack of weapons, and he's put the team on his back. Okay. But for some reason, everyone's saying that Lamar Jackson deserves to be in MVP conversation. And a few weeks ago, I told you, I don't believe he should be in the conversation because of the record.
Yeah, 11-5. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, they're not 11, but whatever they were at the time.
Whatever they were at the time. I'm like, you can't. He had 5 losses, regardless of what it was. It was 5 losses. And you're like, how can you be MVP if you're not even? You didn't win your division. And you have 5 losses. Now, obviously, he came back up to win the division, so maybe that could kind of put him back in the conversation. Mm-hmm. But if the record doesn't matter, because, again, one other thing I said was Josh Allen, who did the Chiefs lose to get their only loss of the season? Josh Allen. Who did the Lions lose to get their only loss of the season? Josh Allen. Who are the number 1 in the AFC? The Chiefs. And the person they lost to is damn Josh Allen. Who's, right now, number 1 in the NFC is the Lions. And Josh Allen's the one that did that to them. It really should be his.
As they start looking at advanced metrics, that's what's ultimately going to do it for him. It's going to be, okay, hey, look at the teams that he's beat versus the teams that, say, the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson beat. I think, in addition to that, we were expecting a bit more from the Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens underperformed from expectations. Now, don't get me wrong. If they win this and they go 12-5, you'd be like, how the hell did they underperform at 12-5? You won 12 games. But the 5 losses were 5 losses that never should have happened. Well, not all 5 of them. The Chiefs, okay, fine. But they lost. The Ravens beat them this year.
The Ravens beat the Ravens?
Raiders, sorry.
Oh.
The Raiders beat them this year. Yes, no. The Ravens beat the Ravens. They beat themselves. Come on. Okay? So if the record don't matter, then you want to talk about the stats, then it's Joe Burrow's award.
Joe Burrow, 4,600 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Now, their record is what it is. They're about 500. They could potentially make it to the playoffs. They need some help. They've got to win. The Steelers got to lose.
Not only they need to win, they need
multiple teams.
They need the Chiefs backups to win because the Chiefs ain't starting their starters, and the Chiefs are playing the Broncos. They need the Chiefs backups to beat the Broncos.
But the Broncos are playing for a playoff berth.
Yeah, Broncos need winning in.
And the Chiefs, it doesn't matter what happens with them because they're going to be locked into the number 1 seed anyway.
Yeah. So that's why they're not playing any of their starters.
Yeah, makes sense for them.
So, with that being said, no. It doesn't look good for Bengals. Apparently, analytics says they have a 10% chance to get in if they win. So, the first thing they have to do is win. And then after that, 10% chance of making it.
Given how the Bengals offense has performed this year, all you have to do is make it in the dance. And once you make it to the dance, then you can...
Anything goes.
Bingo. Could you see Jamar Chase with a 150-yard, 3-touchdown day?
And apparently, he's had that a few times. It hasn't helped the wins. It's a defense. They're not winning because of defense. Let me see. So, going
CJ
through
Tour.
with this. Yeah, no.
I'm actually very interested in how they're gonna justify who they pick for MVP this year.
I'm gonna be really upset, and not upset in the sense of like, I'll be disappointed. Because first off, I'm already disappointed that the MVP is a quarterback, right? But I'll be really disappointed if it's not Josh Allen. Lamar is having a great season. Yes, I'm not denying that. But numbers, it can't just be based on numbers, because if it's based on numbers, then give it to Joe Burrow. If that's the case, then always give it to the best quarterback.
I saw somebody on Twitter that was able to simulate in Madden and traded Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
First off, I don't like Madden, but anyway, continue.
The Bills did even better with Lamar Jackson than Josh Allen, but the Ravens also did better than 11-5 with Josh Allen.
Okay,
So it's a wash.
So the Bills did better with Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So are they saying that
they lost one or three or fewer games?
Are you saying that Josh Allen underperformed, or he has enough weapons? Because honestly, who could have told me that Khalil Shakir would have been the top receiver?
That's why Josh Allen has impressed me this year. When he lost Steph Diggs. Now, Mark Cooper.
It was a rebuild.
Mark Cooper, I don't want to disrespect. We got to put some respect on his name.
He came midway through the season.
So it's I just again
remember his first game there. He didn't even know what the route was, and Keon
at some point,
Keon Coleman was like, "Bro,
he caught that touchdown though, didn't he?"
Yeah, he got the touchdown.
Okay, he did his job. Josh Allen has just really impressed me. And is he running? Is that him running? No.
That's
Okay.
Eric Henry. Lamar's still in the game.
Yeah,
I'm really disappointed right now. Like
Yeah,
really.
Listen, chill out. You just want the Browns to win.
No. all that aside, you wanna know why? Because if anything happens to Lamar in terms of an injury, right? All I'm gonna hear all year, off season, is, "Oh, the Ravens would have won if it wasn't for Lamar getting injured." And it's every fan base.
So you just want him to win or lose without any injuries, so that a decision can be had about
because I don't like
who
the
he
cop
is.
out of That's one of my main issues with Cowboys fans. Oh, we would have made the playoffs if Dak didn't get hurt. Y'all were losing before Dak got hurt.
Yeah, I don't believe the hype on that one.
I don't like hearing excuses on my team would've, coulda, shoulda, but no buts. No buts. This is the Ravens team. Now they're already gonna have their butts with freaking Zay Flowers. If he comes out limping
He's straight.
next week,
He walked off into the locker room there on his own will. He wasn't carried. He wasn't carted off.
Any updates on his status? Where is it? Zay Flowers. And you know where to go. Twitter. Breaking news. Zay Flowers. Yo, listen, everyone's talking about my parlay bets. Zay Flower getting hurt. No news yet, and it's been a minute. No update.
He's cool. It's just gonna be a sprain. Not even a sprain. It's just a bruise. They're keeping him out for safety. Can you even really justify that when you have the other starters still in there playing? Now, I think Bill Belichick had an interview on the Pat McAfee show this week where he essentially explained that he really wasn't a fan of sitting players because they worked so hard to get to that point. He had some really bullshit answer about.
Listen.
Whoa.
Stay up. Fight for every yard, Lamar.
Okay, that is really outrageous. He should have just slid and went down. What are we doing here? Nick Saban co-signed it too. He's not a big fan of sitting players. And
Listen, I have no problem if you want to play them for a half. I really don't have a problem if you want to play it because you're like, listen.
He shouldn't be doing this right here.
I don't want you to feel too rusty because the rest versus rust conversation is 100% a conversation to be had. You will be rusty. And that's why teams that have, for the Chiefs, I don't necessarily like that their starters aren't playing because that's 2 weeks. Which is why I low-key want my Steelers to face them. You can't
coming off 2 weeks where
2 weeks of like
it's not like you had a dominating season.
You weren't blowing people out. You blew us out, but you weren't blowing people out. Like yeah,
but that's 2 weeks of preparation that you're also giving them. And
no, preparation is one thing, but running game speed. If that's true, then teams would never start slow in the beginning of the season. But the team's always like, oh no, we got to warm up to it. That you get 1 week, you're like, okay, cool. We don't need to warm up from 1 week. 2 weeks?
Pay your bless.
It's not even 2 weeks.
Play your best football in December.
On Christmas. December 25th.
Oh damn!
It's damn near 3 weeks.
Yeah, I let them come out and play at least a couple of series.
Let me count the days. Let me count the days. Where's the calendar at?
It's been 7 in December.
Where's my calendar at? What the heck? I don't even know where it is. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, 10, 11 days.
No, it's not 10, 11 days.
Since they last played?
No, how many days is going to be between each game? So, Christmas Day was the last time they played. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They're going to play till the 18th, give or take. 18th, the earliest. 18th, the earliest. So that's 18 days plus 7 days. That's 25 days. That's 3.5 weeks.
Let's call it a month. There's a month without
playing games.
Competitive football. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking they maybe play a quarter today, guys.
No, they're not. They're sitting.
No, they should. I'm with your logic of, hey, that's a really long time to give these players off who are playing at the highest level.
You at least let them play a half, maybe even a quarter, something. You can't take a month off. That's a lot.
It bounced off the ground. I don't know what the Steelers are doing. The Ravens are really doing right now. They.
I swear, if I see Lamar come out in the second half, I'm gonna flip my shit. I'm flipping my shit.
14-3, the Browns don't look like they can muster any real offense to make this competitive beyond what it is.
What do you mean? Lamar Jackson's the MVP. He didn't get the 2 touchdowns he got on the board?
Hey, he's been averaging 2 touchdown passes in 9 out of the 10 pass games.
Oh, wait, he didn't get that first touchdown. That was defense.
Correct.
Oh, the MVP. The MVP of the league can only score 7 points in 1 half. Against the
this is
Browns?
what we're doing. Okay, well, let's see what the other candidate. Oh, one of the MVP candidates isn't even playing. Okay, in week 18. So
the other one isn't. And actually, both of them aren't. Josh Allen might not play.
Oh, I want him to play.
They locked their seed. He has what happened to him against the Patriots?
Nah,
with that wrist.
Josh needs to play.
What happened with that wrist?
I didn't think it was anything major. I don't remember the play. I remember seeing him on the sideline.
Constantly doing that.
Yeah. They still won the game.
You know, they still won the game.
Now, remember I think you and I were complaining, or I was complaining the fact that it didn't look like a dominant enough win. Look at him. Regular guy. Regular guy coming to work.
Yo. Russell, thank you. Okay, so, real quick, since it's about the halftime, we're about to take our break as well. Looks like Russ is looking for about $34 million a year.
I love it because that makes the Steelers' decision even more difficult. I was generous.
That's easier.
I was generous. I said that he was going to be in the 40 million. Like he doesn't need to be in a 60 to 50, but in the 40 million.
I think I would. And you're running with him. I think. Okay, finally, you're getting concerned like I am. Thank you.
Why is he running the ball?
And they're held. Illegal shift. At $30 million, and knowing that he's only going to get worse. He's not in his prime. He's in the decline. Now, how big of a decline is he going to have? But knowing that I could get him for like 30 mil.
I think you and I had I think what I had thrown out was 3 years, 100 million.
Yeah, that's the report right now. I might want to take that.
3 for 100. You guarantee 85 of that for him? It's
the new market. It's the new day.
I know. I'm already coming in at well below the market. You're gonna have to bend here somewhere.
Yeah. So if I was to take a look into that, if I was to really look into it, 2 years guaranteed, gives a chance to get that's a fumble.
I think so, but was he trying to make it incomplete as opposed to?
Anyway, it's over. Yeah, no, your MVP Lamar Jackson can only get 1 touchdown against the Browns.
You know the defense gets paid too?
Oh yeah, they do. And the MVP don't matter if the defense get paid.
Listen, the man's down his number 1 wide receiver in Zay Flowers. What do you expect?
Apparently the coach don't care because he should have took him out too.
Yo, it was seconds leading before the half ended here, and he was still running the ball. I don't understand this.
Yeah, a power run. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back in the second half. Deuces. Y'all be easy. Yo.
Back.
Now the mic's on. Yo, we're back. Mrs.
This time the mics are on.
Hot mic. I'd rather have the mics be off than the mic be on by accident.
True. For some reason, the Baltimore Ravens seem to think that it's a good idea, and they've brought in Lamar Jackson and team out for this second half, even though they're winning the game now, 21-3, but I don't know why they're still out there in the second half.
I hope the Browns score a touchdown right now, and I want to see what the Ravens do.
Keep the Steelers playing. Keep the starters playing. What do you mean? 10. It would still be a two score game, so they keep riding it out with the backups. You go to a more run focused. If you're playing Madden, you're trying to win the game. What do you do?
I'm changing my thing right now. I want the Ravens to win because so based off of how we ended the conversation last time, I'd rather face the Texans than the Chargers.
Agreed.
And then I'd rather face the Chiefs than the Bills.
Chiefs or the Bills. Okay. I'm telling you, it's false. The Chiefs look like they could be got right now. They really can't. Oof.
Great defense. That was a great defensive play. Why do you keep looking at Bateman for?
Did he get injured? Oh, he just
got
made the touchdown
pass,
catch.
right?
Look at him standing by himself.
They're making it seem like he got hurt or something, or he fumbled the ball or something.
Hand up.
All right. Yeah. No, okay. Which one's the easier path to the playoffs? You know what? I got to pull this back up. Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, or well, no, not Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs. Okay. No, actually, hold on 1 second. I gotta pull this up so I can say it right. Oh, great. Kyle Hamilton.
I don't mean to laugh.
You're all pro safety.
I don't mean to laugh.
Safety. Dog, take your men out. Oh my gosh.
That looked like his regular play. It didn't seem anything.
It looks like head to head. Like I think he's just like got his bell rung. Nothing with the arm. Although it looks like he's grabbing the arm. There's something else happening I don't see.
No, the players are just like, this is
Listen, take me out. Take me out, coach.
This isn't gonna change anything for us.
I'm gonna read to you. Hold on. My mic kind of drooped on me for a second. Okay. I'm gonna read to you playoff paths, and I want you to tell me which one you rather.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers, Bills, Chiefs.
Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers, Bills.
Or Texans, Chiefs, Bills.
Oh, that's the least desirable path.
Texans,
well, hold on.
Chiefs, Bills?
As the who? Who am I?
What road?
The last one.
Road team. I'm not telling you the teams. I'm telling you the path. Path to the Super Bowl. Texans, Chiefs, Bills. Or it could be Ravens, but most likely Bills. Or Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs. Or Chargers, Bill, Chiefs.
The Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs is probably the
easiest. Really?
Broncos aren't proven yet. They're young.
Fair enough. That's a real easy first matchup. Fair.
I don't want to play the Bills and the Chiefs. I'd prefer to play the Ravens and the Chiefs over the Bills and the Chiefs.
What if I took out the Broncos and I put the Bengals? Now it's Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs.
I don't want to do that either. The hell? Because Joe Burrow's likely to come on and throw for 500 yards.
Right now, you're saying that you prefer the Bills' playoff path to the Super Bowl. The Bills play the Broncos, then the Ravens, because I really don't see the Ravens losing to the Chargers. Although, could happen. But most likely Ravens would win. And Chiefs would most likely beat the Steelers. Or Texans, either or.
Listen, let's not forget that the Buffalo Bills are the same franchise that made it to the Super Bowl, I think, for 4 consecutive years and walked away with nothing. So,
okay, impressive, honestly.
It is impressive to lose 4 consecutive Super Bowls and not somehow figure one of them out.
4 consecutive appearances, 4 consecutive Super Bowls.
Yes. So let's hope for their sake, because I'm in rebuilding mode over here. I don't care what's going on in the playoffs. Let's hope for their sake they can get this done.
I'm pretty sure if I'm on Twitter right now, everyone would be like, John Harbaugh, take everyone out. Especially after the Kyle Hamilton one. I want to. People talking about they're trying to stat pad right now. I'm not gonna say it's stat padding.
Lamar's already had an amazing year. What else could he?
I think they really want to make sure they get the 3rd seed. I think that's what it is.
They're locked into the 3rd seed though. There's no.
If they lose and the Steelers win, they drop down to 5.
11-5, 10-6. Yep. They go to 11-6. Steelers win. They go to 11-6. They're tied. Okay.
Lamar's still in the game. Listen.
And still throwing the ball.
I still say, if you're worried about rust over rest, play a half. Or until someone's injured.
I think that's a happy medium.
It is.
Either play a quarter or play a half.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Right now, I really do want to face the Chiefs. I get it. Andy Reid has a crazy record after a bye week. Did you know that? He's like only lost like once or twice after a bye. Hold on, let me take a look at it.
Yep, there you go. Oh. King Henry.
Andy Reid. Record after bye. (21-4) in his career. Not like just with the Chiefs or something. In his career.
Listen, Andy Reid's been the man before the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, he was really great with the Eagles. Yeah,
okay.
They did great with the Eagles.
He wasn't able to get over the hump with the Eagles, but he's been the man for quite some time.
Very much so. Very, very much so. So I understand that concern because he's gonna have a bye. Remember the game, great game plan. Man, listen, practices aren't physical like that anymore.
That part.
You will be fresh. You will get cracked.
And how are you going to respond?
You can't, like you got to warm up. You got to do this. You got to do that. You're going to warm up or whatever. No. You don't have time to warm up in a playoff game. You better be firing all cylinders to start.
You don't really have a choice. See, and that's the other, I don't know if we were recording or not, but players of yesteryear, 18 games, fine, they didn't play 18-game seasons or 17-game seasons. However, they were still doing 2-a-days. They were practicing with pads 3 to 4 times a week, so they still got a lot more wear and tear on their body than the modern NFL player.
And don't get me wrong, practice doesn't prevent ACL tears.
No, but practice makes the field product look better.
No, practice makes the field product look a whole lot better. But at the same time, when you know how to take a hit. Because it's not just like, the only time you can't brace for a hit is like those blindside tackles. And those are the ones that look like they freaking got killed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, other than that, every player, when they're about to get hit, brace. You know, to put the shoulder down. You're timing and putting the shoulder down to make sure you don't get cracked too late. Speaking of which, did we talk about the tackle on Trevor Lawrence that got that one player on the Texans suspended? Did we ever talk about that?
I don't remember. I do remember seeing the play. I don't remember if we talked about it. Might have been one of those weeks that we were off, but that was learn how to slide.
It's not even learn how to slide.
No, it is. I think they showed a lot of replays on what traditional sliding quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. When you try to wait to that last second, that's when these situations occur.
It's not to learn how to slide. It's stop trying to get every yard. You're
give yourself up. Give yourself up. Yeah.
Give yourself up. And that's one thing where I don't like the NFL, the rules in NFL, because Pat Mahomes, when he gets to the sideline, they're going out, he goes up a little bit. Because you know damn well, if he set 1 foot out of bounds and you tackle him, you're suspended. Don't hit Pat Mahomes like that. So because of that, he's able to take that and go for another 3-4 yards up the field. And then now it's like he just got right past you.
The same way we knock the defensive players for sometimes these questionable hits, we have to talk to the offensive players as well. Hey,
why you made yourself so vulnerable?
Give yourself up.
Yeah.
You got the first down already? Go out. I mean, remember, when you're in this part of the field, you're treated just like a running back.
Honestly, you want to know what I think the rules should be? No more quarterback slides. Just take out the slide completely.
And let them be running backs in the open field?
If you want to run 10 yards down the field, you're a running back.
No, the benefit, the thing with the slide is it allows you to give yourself up.
But if you're going to wait to the last second, it doesn't matter.
And it's not as if they give it to you where you end up. They give it, they mark the ball wherever you initiate and start the slide. So, I don't understand
take the
why.
Slide out. If the quarterbacks are going to use that and defense players are going to get penalized because they want to wait to the very last second. Again, why is this man still in the game? Guys, listen, I can't stress this enough. Any play can be your last play. Okay, so I get that.
I think Harbaugh.
But when you legitimately got Super Bowl aspirations here, right? You are a Super Bowl contender, right?
Yes.
What are you really gonna gain? And I know you probably can't take Lamar out and
why not? Why can't?
Hold up. And then put him back in. Let's say if the Browns come back and then you put him back in for one more drive, because then now you're gonna be like, oh no, he's cold. He lost his rhythm. Oh yeah, because that doesn't happen after a bye week or something like that. Like, I don't know if that's really the argument there. Like, yo, we got a 17-point lead. No, not 17. 18-point lead. Can your second strings not hold that?
You should be in your 4-minute offense.
They got a quarterback they just signed 3 weeks ago, playing quarterback. Your defense can't hold that lead?
You need to be in there running for 3 to 4 yards a pop and staying on the field.
Don't throw a flag.
What was that?
Don't throw a flag. You can definitely tell he's the receiver tripped because he tripped up the defender. The defender didn't tackle him. He freaking got tripped. He got tripped. Look at it. Whoop. Yeah.
Okay.
He lost his feet, and I'm like, yo,
I'm gonna help you down.
Yo, wait, where's your body? I'm supposed to be guarding you. You just disappeared on me.
They're going for it. Okay.
With Lamar. Okay, so paint a picture. If Lamar gets hurt right here on the 4th,
they deserve it. They deserve it. They 100% deserve it. Timeout.
Yo, all right. What were we talking about? Take out the slide. Quarterbacks are not allowed to slide. If you want to scramble for yards, then you can get tackled like every other player in the league.
No,
I'm not trying to shut down the mobile quarterbacks. Mobile quarterback is good. Run your ass out of bounds. Run your ass out of bounds. Quarterback should not be running up the middle of the field.
We're not used to historically seeing quarterbacks do that. However, with the rise of the more mobile, more agile athlete, we're going to see more and more of that.
Okay, so when the quarterback runs up the field and decides to slide late, I'm the one who's going to get penalized? So you want them to. No, you want to protect the quarterback, protect them from themselves. You can run up the middle of the field. You just can't slide. You can give yourself up.
I'm with that.
You can give yourself up, but you can't slide. We're no longer giving you the slide. The slide, you still gotta get touched. Like if you want to slide, you still gotta get touched down. Because obviously when you give yourself up, you still gotta get touched for the play to be over. Fine, you on the floor? Cool. Guess what? I'm punching that ball out your hand. No, if quarterbacks want to run out of bounds.
Did you have a quarterback hurt you in your life?
Okay, I don't like how defenses are hamstrung. And I know it's an offensive game, but there's a lot of rules that is detrimental to defenses that I'm not a fan of. Another example, wide receiver runs a go route, quarterback underthrows the ball, and because the defender's between the receiver and the ball,
because he didn't turn back, he hits him in the back of the head. It's pass interference.
Pass interference. That was a bad throw. Yeah. Okay, I get it. I should turn around, and as long as you look for the ball, then they won't throw the flag. But it was such a bad throw. It should be uncatchable, just like it is
when it's overthrown.
Overthrown.
I see.
So there's a lot of rules that like defenses are they're playing a little bit with one hand tied behind their back.
You know, that speaks to when you have quarterbacks back in the day when Aaron Rodgers used to be good. He was the king of drawing you offside and then throwing that go.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. No, because there's a difference between discipline and a quarterback who is lack of skill is making up for it. You know, and I've said this earlier this season. I've said that quarterback play lately has dipped, in my opinion.
I don't know if you can say that when you look at when you say quarterback play, what specifically are you referencing? Say, for example, they're throwing for fewer yards per game, or we're asking them to do less than what we've historically. So, for example, in the past, Peyton Manning would come to the line and he was the coach on the field. He was, this is the play you sent in. Yeah. I'm going to motion and auto my way. I
created a whole new play on the field, all of that. Yeah, no.
Omaha.
Like, listen, you're Omaha, you're a Texas route, you're going deep, you're doing the post, you're doing the slant. Actually, you're no longer doing the slant, you're doing the post, you're doing, listen.
So from that perspective, yes, we're not asking the quarterbacks.
More in the numbers have gone down, right? And not just so much in that the numbers have gone down, but a lot of these quarterbacks are not leading their receivers in such. A lot of these wide receivers getting tackled and cracked when they're catching the ball. It's because the quarterback really put them in harm's way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think Tom Brady did an interview about this,
and he said
indicating that, hey, listen, players are coming in, they're staying here for a short period of time, whereas in the past you went to these colleges because you were learning the program, you were learning how to position your wide receivers for success. You don't want to have these guys getting their heads taken off every time you throw the ball to them across in the middle of the field. And another Raven is potentially...
No, that's the same one. He's back. He's back on the field.
Kyle Hamilton?
Yeah. So, these quarterbacks are not... They're not leading them properly. Is that the offensive play call? Maybe. I don't think so.
So you think that these offensive coordinators are designing plays that are potentially jeopardizing the health and safety of their wide receivers?
Well, no. Who the quarterbacks are going to say themselves? Listen, there is a lot of top tier quarterback talent, and from what I'm seeing, I'm also not pleased with what I'm seeing. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. The quarterback who does the best, number one, is Mahomes. He doesn't put his players in harm's way. I don't really see him throwing the pass where you see their wide receiver get blasted. Okay? Joe Burrow's another one.
But doesn't something like that just come with experience and just... Oh.
It comes with... Okay, fine. If you want to say it comes with experience. But...
For example, I saw Drake May last week throw a pass that got one of his wide receivers just knocked out in the middle of the field, and his reaction on the field lets me know that, oh shit, he realizes that maybe I shouldn't have thrown. He was hand to head like, oh my goodness, what did I just do?
Exactly. But let me ask you a question. Did the defense get penalized on that play?
No, it was just...
Oh, really?
Next play. Okay. Move on to the next play.
Because usually a lot of times, that's one thing I don't like about the referees in NFL. If a tackle looks a little aggressive, they throw a flag.
That part I'm with. Listen, these are grown men. Some of the hits are going to be pretty big. You can't... Just because a hit is big doesn't mean that he did something wrong. Like... No. You must have did something wrong there.
Like, I have no problem. Like, and there's some of the rules I will say is pretty good. Like the Tom Brady rule, the going low. Not so much about the going low, but like if the quarterback is staying in the pocket, don't dive at their knees.
That makes sense.
Like they're being a statue. Okay? Now if they leave the pocket, all's fair game. I have no problem with that. Do it.
That seems pretty straightforward. That's always seemed pretty straightforward. Quarterback, you stay in the pocket, you'll get hit differently and less than if you try to run like a running back. Now,
Yes.
all fair game if you take off like a running back.
So in that same breath, I really feel like we need to bring the quarterback protection rules back to just being in the pocket. Because if I got an account, and that's Bailey Zappi, he doesn't really know.
Now, he threw that in between three, but shouldn't
It was a
he have
great-
led the wide receiver more towards the
but
outside?
He probably threw it in the only place where it was safe to not be intercepted. Because the guy had like literally, look at this, 3 people around him. There's only one spot you can throw that without it getting picked off or tipped. He threw it in the only location. But here's the decision. Here's the issue. That was too many people around him. I don't care if you got the accuracy for it. Don't.
He's in the middle of 3 Ravens.
I gotta jump up and leave my body exposed, and I got 3 Baltimore Ravens surrounded. I gotta pray that I land out of bounds before one of them hit me.
You know, the only reason we know who Bailey Zappi is because we didn't have an official starter at quarterback.
Is Lamar coming out? Or is he still playing?
Nah. I didn't appreciate Michael Vick enough when he was playing. I liked my favorite version of Michael Vick was the Eagles Michael Vick.
Really?
Yeah, because by
he was a great. He had a better passing.
Correct.
He was way better passing.
At that point, he was still fast, but he learned to play more from the pocket, and he could still take off.
The legendary play with him on the Eagles. That one play where I think they're playing against the Redskins. The Redskins were talking trash, and he told Deshaun Watson just go deep.
And he got
and
on
that
the
was
ball.
the first pass, and he just bumped. Lamar's still in the game. Dude. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, what were we talking about? We're talking about defenses. I don't like the defense. I don't like the whole quarterback. Protect your quarterback. They are your money makers in this league.
Fumble out of bounds.
Yes.
And especially with the rise of the mobile, more athletic quarterback who depend so much on their legs, they're gonna protect these guys and their legs.
They gotta protect them, but at the same time, they gotta protect themselves.
Penalize the defense for doing their job. My job is to stop you from catching the ball or progressing and gaining any yards.
A running back doesn't slide. When it's a wide receiver don't slide. What do? They go out of bounds. Why does the quarterback get to stay in the middle of the field and slide?
I saw highlights on Twitter this week of Adrian Peterson and Jerome Bettis when he was playing, and
they didn't need to slide. They didn't need to run out of bounds. You need to get out the
people
way.
made business decisions when it came to
Listen, Derrick Henry, he don't need to slide. He don't need to go out of bounds. You need to get out of his way.
Jerome Bettis was a really big boy.
Yo, listen.
I didn't realize how big he was until seeing some like, wait a minute, what?
He was not slim. He ate good. He ate real good.
That was probably one of my favorite Steelers ever as well.
Listen.
All right, so we're gonna petition the NFL to get rid of the quarterback slide, and
that's just, honestly because you got to protect because then right after that, I heard Rex Ryan, I think it was on Get Up, talking about most corrected injured sliding than they do
taking hits.
Yeah, because when you slide like that as a defender, the head is up here, and then literally half a second later, the head is now 4 feet lower. And the thing is, you're told to aim for the middle of the body. So guess where you're aiming? 4 feet below the head. So guess what you just hit? The head.
That was always something I was curious to observe how they were going to because you're right. These guys are so fast and athletic. They're moving so quick that by the time he initiates the slide, he goes from standing up straight to falling back 4 feet, which changes the tackle position.
What was that?
Hey, it was one. He doesn't look too happy. The MVP.
Lamar does not look good. Does not look happy. I mean, or good.
They're gonna get the win, but it's not because he played an amazing game.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
What? So if the Ravens win, we lose, and the Chargers win, we drop down to 6? And we get to play Baltimore? If we play Baltimore, then we play Baltimore, Chiefs, Bills. I don't want that.
If there were a team in the playoffs who you can say would be prepared to potentially have to go that difficult path, I would say it would be the Steelers. Not because they're spectacular at anything, but they have the coach that would have the players ready to play in each of these instances.
Fair. But I also would say, and actually, I do have another topic for us to talk about. I would also say in the same breath, I would want the best chance you have at beating the Chiefs is to be their first playoff match. That 25 days is really...
So you're leaning heavily on the... You also looked up Andy Reid's record after time off. Yes.
So technically, their bye is not till next week. You're giving the players another bye. Meanwhile, technically, this game tomorrow is like a bye because it's from the Wednesday of, not last Wednesday, the Wednesday before that one. That was 13 days ago?
Yep.
Wait, Wednesday to Wednesday 7 plus 2, 3, 4. 11 days ago. 11 days. That's a bye.
They could use all the rest that they can get going into the playoffs.
Yes, but you cannot expect me to believe you're coming at game speed. You're not gonna need some sort of warm up. Because I don't care what you do in practice. Something NFL players always say: whatever speed you think you're running at in practice, it's a half a tick faster.
And
in the game. Now, yes, is Mahomes good enough to get to overcome that? Yes, Mahomes is good enough to overcome that. Kelsey is really good. Maybe it might take him a little bit. He's in an older age, and it takes him a little bit to warm up.
Kelsey's been pretty.
Receivers.
D-Hop.
D-Hop's not doing too good with the Chiefs, man.
Every game he has at least one catch that justifies why he's there, in my opinion.
Great. The Chiefs, one catch is not.
No, I mean, he's not there to be the man. He's there to provide stability.
Okay,
he's
so
there.
Who's supposed to be the man?
Who's the wide receiver that they have that's out injured right now? There's a wide receiver.
Rashee Rice?
Yes.
Who's not playing?
He's out injured,
okay,
so.
Cool. So who?
Next man up, so everyone's role gets.
Okay, Hollywood Brown?
Interesting player. Watch, he'll have a catch in the playoffs that's going to help them win a game.
I'm not denying the fact that he can have a catch that can help you get in the game. It's the issue of starting slow. And your best receiver right now is Kelsey. Okay? Your best receiver is Kelsey. Offensive pass interference. That's crazy. Your best receiver is Kelsey. And he is... Right now, there's a lot of reports going out that he might retire after the season.
If they win, I could see him walking away. I don't need to keep doing this. I'm going to...
there's some reports that saying that the only reason he came back was so he could do it. That's the only reason he's here.
Yeah. If I'm Kelsey and I win, I'm going to spend the rest of my time trying to impregnate the billionaire that he's dating.
Yo, listen, do you think... I'm not even going to start this. Never mind. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. So, Kelsey is... Honestly, he is in Super Bowl's mindset, but he's... If the reports are true, he's already half out. He's already like... He knows this is his last year. He's at that age where he can't start that quick.
I like the way he finished the season. At the beginning of the season, there were all the...
Okay, hold on. The last game, or maybe the last two games, how many of those games did you say that you liked?
I like the way the team is finishing the season. Yeah. I can't say I paid attention to what he's specifically done. Mm-hmm. Beginning of the year, there were a lot of where the hell's Travis Kelce sightings.
Okay, and there was also a lot of like, what the hell's wrong with the Chiefs?
And then he picked it up.
And then now he's about to have 1 month off. So you don't want to keep the momentum going? All the momentum's gone.
We know Mahomes isn't playing today.
Kelsey's not playing. No, not today. Tomorrow. Kelsey's not playing. A lot of key starters are not playing.
So you're valuing the rust factor
25
more
days
than
is
the
way too
experience?
It's the experience is one thing, but I'm saying it's rust because here's the issue with rust.
We've been here before. We know what it takes, and I get it.
We know what
you
it
can't
takes.
just flip a switch and
that's why a 1 week off. Okay, a lot of coaches are struggling with the mindset of, damn, during the playoffs, we want to take that 1 week off. And like, nah, you know what? Play a half, and then you have 1 week off. Cool. They're not even playing a half. They're taking a month off.
they've been beat up all year. The extra rest will do them well.
Yes,
Plus,
you know what rest you can get?
we know what Reed does after some time
if they
off.
were to play even just one drive tomorrow, and then now they just have 1 week.
See, it gets tough because year in and year out, the team changes so much that you can't just say that because Kelsey and Mahomes can take the week. Just because they would really benefit from having the extra time off doesn't mean that the overwhelming majority of the team would get the same benefit.
So I guess what I'm really going at is older players. How much rest is too much rest?
Depends on the position. No, it doesn't, does it? No, they all bang. I don't want these guys having any more than the first bye week off.
A lot of people like, okay, you have the bye week and then you take another week, so that's 2 weeks. That's 14 days.
That's too much.
That's too much. This team's having a third week off, and then some.
Because think about, despite the fact that you hear of all these organized team activities, all these off-season things,
it's glorified walkthroughs at this.
The product on the field doesn't look good until November, the beginning, maybe middle of November, thereabouts.
And the other thing is, as much as I want to see more football games, this is actually something very serious here. I love to see more football games. I really, really do. But the one thing I love about the NFL is that every Sunday matters. Why does it matter? Because of limited games.
Yeah, there are no throwaway games.
There is no throwaway games. And if you keep adding games to the season, I get it. More money and more football that I want to digest. I do get that.
I'll take it one step further. I really appreciate the fact that they put these divisional games at the end of the season now because they matter so much for so many teams.
Towards the end of the season. So, by adding more games, you're giving more opportunity for a throwaway game. Because what were the Bengals saying last season before the season started? Man, Joe, relax. We'll take care of business. It's all right. I'd rather you take 2 weeks off and then come back here and get injured again. We could take, pretty much you just said we could take 2 losses. And they didn't make the playoffs that year. But when players start having that mentality, that's kind of close to what we were talking about with basketball, where we're like, players kind of chill out in September, October, with a little nonchalant. The season doesn't really start till after All-Star break.
They know no one's paying attention until after the Super Bowl's over. That should not be a defensive pass interference. I think in my lifetime, the NFL will get up to more than 17 games.
Oh, no, it will. It's going to get to 18. They're already trying to get 18.
But you're right. The fact that it's like the NBA. You play your divisional teams 4 times, so there are opportunities there for, we lose one, what's the big deal? There's so many other opportunities for wins that some of these divisional conference games don't mean much.
If they're going to add another game, you know what I want now? You know how normally...
To the NFL, you mean?
Yeah, they go to 18. You know how normally they have 6 divisional games? Make it 8. If you're going to add games, make it a divisional game. That way, there is no throwaway games. Each game still is super important.
Do you want the AFC North playing each other in extra time? You see how bad these guys just beat the shit out of each other? You want them doing that one more time during the year?
I'm looking outside the AFC North. I don't want team... Because, again, remember, A division win is like 2 wins, and a division loss is like 2 losses. If you keep giving them more games, it's gonna be more, man, we can afford to lose a game. Wow, he dropped it. He didn't make it all the way through. That's not a touchdown. Did he make, the question is, he had possession.
1 step, 2 steps.
When does oh wait, no.
Fumbles out.
He slapped it out of his hand, but did it cross the line yet?
Yeah, he was in the... One, two in the half, and you strip it.
But it crossed the pylon, though. It should be plays over.
Because of the fumble, do they give it to him at the 1 now?
No, they're saying the 3rd step means because you got to make a football move, and that football move is your 3rd step.
Well, he started dragging on the 3rd step there, and the ball started come 1, 2.
Should the football move be
here
that
comes 3
stiff arm?
Oh, what are they gonna do here? It's gonna be Brown's ball at the 1. They're gonna say he fumbled it going out of the end zone.
They say he fumbled and it fumbled out the end zone. That's a turnover. Baltimore's ball, 20-yard line. It's a touchback. You can't fumble out your own end zone. So we were talking about, I was like, I don't want to be throwaway games. So division games, no team can afford to lose a division game. I don't care what you want to say.
So now instead of 2, we're playing each other 3 times.
So if there's 4 teams and you play 8 games now, each team twice, so that's 6. And then let's say if it was the AFC North, then the Steelers would play the Ravens and Bengals as an extra game. The Bengals would probably play the Steelers and Browns as an extra game. And the Ravens would play the Browns and Bengals as an extra game. Something like that. Whatever. The NFL got schedule makers that get paid commas on commas on commas to figure all that stuff out. But the issue is, players are already kind of approaching the NFL season with the concept of like, we can afford a loss or 2. Or we can start slow. If you have 8 divisional games, your first 2 games of the season are divisional.
The middle 2.
Your last 2 games of the season are divisional. And 4 within the middle of the season.
So now that does make
start your season hot. We can no. Now if I'm the Steelers, we played the Ravens and the Browns to start the season. We can't start 0-2. Not in our own division. Starting 0-2 is one thing. Starting 0-2 in your own division is another.
That's cool.
That is behind the 8 ball. You want teams to care about week 1 and week 2? That's how you do it. Now there's only 6 games, so you can't afford to really do 2 or 3 in the beginning because 1 is okay, fine. We weren't gonna sweep the division, so starting 0-1 in the beginning of the season is one thing, but 0-2, no. Make it 2 division games. It's just the best way to do it. Keeps the integrity of is this a touchdown or not? What did they decide? They're still reviewing it. 24 straight drives.
Oh no!
Touchdown. Oh yeah, no, it's done. Okay.
Incomplete.
Yeah. It's not a football move. They're saying the 3rd step was the football move, and he lost the ball before that.
All right, listen. Catch 1-2. I'm stiff arming, trying to get in. The ball comes out. They should have called that if you fumble.
No, they could have called it a fumble. I wouldn't be mad if they called it a fumble. But then at the same time, if you're gonna call it a fumble, did he fumble it before or after he crossed the pylon?
If he fumbled it after, it becomes Ravens' ball.
No. If he fumbled it after he crossed the pylon, play should be dead. Because when the team be at the 1 And then you remember how quarterbacks or running backs used to just stick their arm out with the ball over the goal line? It's automatically done. You can smack it out if you want. Play's over.
Okay.
It should be the same rule. So,
ooh, I wonder if Lamar's going to come out for the next series, seeing as how the score is 21-3.
If he comes out, then you know they're definitely trying to stat back.
If he comes out, I think you could just confirm that he pissed Harbaugh. Somebody pissed Harbaugh off, and he was like, "Oh yeah, watch this."
You think the players took it too lightly? They probably went.
Maybe they had a light week of practice.
A light week of practice, like I need some more energy from you guys. I ain't see it after y'all playing the whole game. I wouldn't mind that from a coach. I really wouldn't mind that from a coach. That would actually, I'd respect that from a coach.
That sounds more Tomlin, Belichickian than anything.
Oh no, Tomlin's different. He's like, because George Pickens reports earlier this season he wasn't playing every down. He wasn't playing as many downs. He kept coming off the field, and the issue was his blocking on running games, on running plays. And apparently the excuse he was giving the team. This is all reports, right? So it might be true right now. Just was like, oh, he was tired. So Tomlin was like, okay, you tired? Cool. Get off the field. Catch your breath. And he wouldn't be in for 2 or 3 plays.
On the other hand, Dan Campbell tells a story about Amon-Ra St. Brown, who losing a game is like, yo, coach, I need to get out there and block, coach.
So
what?
That brings up a point. Now, okay. Fans are, can I go to Steelers rant?
Oh, knock yourself out.
I need you to call me out on some stuff here. Fans you can be a fan of a team. Fandoms will make you no longer want to be a fan of a team. Prime example. The reason I'm really not a Celtics fan is because the Celtics fans were so delusional here. It pissed me off. And it pushed me away from being a Celtics fan. Okay? Now, at the same time, the Dallas Mavericks were my team that was catching my attention and all that because of Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Finley and all that. Yo, I love the Mavericks back then. Because, again, I was told this is a 7-footer who could shoot threes. That is so cool. That was like, what? Like, yo, remember, I'm a little kid. Wait, I'm playing Kobe Bryant, whatever year it was. I'm like, wait. Because I remember, this is literally, and it was me and a few kids at the church that my mom was going to at the time. We'd be playing Kobe Bryant, and we'd always look at the roster and be like, okay, cool, who can shoot threes? And we always like, the point guard, shooting guard, small forward. We went through 1 through 5. Everyone called it the 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. We always saw it and looked at it and was like, oh, 1, 2, 3. These are the names. Okay, cool. They could shoot threes. And literally, that was just the concept we had. Because I'm like, if you're not a big man, you should be able to shoot threes. And I think one time I chose the Mavericks one time. I was like, okay, cool. These 3 could shoot threes. And I didn't think of nothing of Dirk Nowitzki. And I was losing, and I was shooting threes to Dirk Nowitzki. I was making them. I was like, oh my God, it's so cool. And then after I found out Dirk Nowitzki can actually make threes in real life, I was like, oh my God, it's so cool. This man, it's a cheat code. Now I got 4 people that can shoot threes. 4 people. I was like, yo, this is amazing. This is literally amazing. Video games will make you a fan of a team. Okay? So, all right, all that to say, I listen to Steelers radio. I listen to Steelers podcasts. I listen to some Steelers reporters.
That's your problem right there.
Now, you got no choice but to.
Too much.
No. I listen to like here and there. And I'm not going to lie. George Pickens is an amazing talent. The lack of blocking on some plays and the attitude sometimes is annoying. I hate the misconception that big media actually puts on him, though. Big media makes it seem like if he's not getting the ball, he is disengaged in the play. Okay? Like, for example, earlier this season, did you see his WWE highlight film, George Pickens?
When he was fighting with...
No, not on that Hail Mary one. Even before then, it was like, you haven't seen this.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm going to send it to you after. This man was power bombing people. Like jumping up and like elbowing people on the way down. Like it was like a WWE highlight film. I'm like, yo, this dude's kind of tapped. And I had no problem with it. Okay? But the issue I have right now is if you really are disengaging so often, I didn't necessarily blame. I think that's one of them. Yes. Yes, that's one of them. Look at this play. For no reason. Play's dead. Play's dead. And then he just runs over and he jumps up and like body splashes on the people.
That's not what I was expecting.
Yo.
That was hilarious.
Like, and he has like 4 of those plays throughout the season. Not just him frog splashing people, but like doing some other stuff for no reason, man. And now, just for reference, it was against a game when the play was almost over, and this man literally jumped up and frog splashed the entire pile. Look at him. He's not going after the first. Okay, so this play that he just saw right now, through interception, instead of tackling the man who got the pick, he grabbed another cornerback and literally threw him across the field. So I have no problem with those plays because they didn't get no flags.
I'm sorry. It's the same play, just in slow motion.
He jumped up, he's like, hi. Yo, it's just, oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
It's just, I have no problem because there was no flags on any of those plays. Should there have been a flag? Maybe. Most likely, yes. But there wasn't. So again, if you're not costing the team yards, I have no problem with it. Oh, that's him in Georgia. That's when he got into the fist fight. But if you're disengaging so often, I got a problem with that. And I will say part of the issue is because look at the young wide receivers who you don't see that for. Puka Nacua, right? You don't hear nothing about that for Puka. Wanna know why?
He's not.
He got Cooper Kupp. Veteran leadership in the locker room. Okay? Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know who. He just has the right mindset.
Didn't he come from Notre Dame? Is he from Notre Dame? Okay, forget it.
I can't remember. You know who else? Before originally? Deebo Samuel. Who requested the trade this year? Brendan Ayuk. Yeah, no, Deebo Samuel has no problem blocking. You know who probably helped lead that mentality in the locker room? George Kittle.
I can see it. Yeah, when you have superstar players that aren't willing to get down and do the dirty work, you can't be player number X on the team and not want to do it yourself.
But the thing is, he never had. Who was his leader in the locker room? Deontay Johnson, who is now on his 3rd team in 1 season. And again, I can understand the wide receiver Lamar Jackson is still in the game. Now I hope the Browns win. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Where was I at again? I can understand the receiver getting frustrated with lack of quarterback. Because I could be like, I could run the perfect route. The quarterback can't get me the ball. So the record doesn't matter? Who you beating doesn't matter then? They just show the MVP comparison between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So if Lamar Jackson deserves to be in conversation, to put Joe Burrow in there too. Because apparently the record of your team does not matter. Who you beat does not matter.
Yeah, these wide receivers, when you're a young wide receiver, it does make sense when you're able to have an elder statesman to kind of...
Yeah, and also, I was hoping that with Russ being in the locker room, that he could bring some sort of leadership to actually help George Pickens grow up a little bit. But it looks like he needs a wide receiver. Like, if you were to tell me that this year in the offseason we're able to sign Devontae Adams or not Stephon Diggs, although most likely realistically, no, Stephon Diggs won't even be ready by training camp. He tore his Achilles
Devontae Adams might be available because I don't see Aaron Rodgers going back to the Jets.
I don't see the Jets taking Aaron Rodgers back. And if they did, that's
now hang on. We're applying a certain level of common sense, which I don't know whether or not the Jets have, but
nah, man. Would Aaron Rodgers want to go back? Like, I know he's saying he wouldn't mind it, but would you want to go back if you're Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, you would, because as somebody who has historically always been spoken so highly of, you can't let this be your last NFL season.
No, when you want to come back to the Jets.
Who's going to be banging down his door?
A player who doesn't get Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. It would be historical if you went to the Raiders.
I would think that would be extremely difficult based on what he put on the product he put on the field this year.
Because the Raiders got a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. The Saints got a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
Carr's younger than Rodgers and looks more capable than Rodgers at this stage in his career.
Carr looked horrible this season. He started really hot.
He's younger than Rodgers, though. If you had,
you know who else is younger than Rodgers? Zach Wilson. And I don't care what you say. You don't want Zach Wilson.
Hey, relax. Zach Wilson got the team to a better record, same or better record than last year.
And if you told 32 GMs who they would rather have right now, Zach Wilson or Aaron Rodgers for 1 year. Come on.
And guess what? Maybe he broke, based on what he put on tape this year, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I'm straight.
Come on, dog.
I'm straight.
But if you had to pick one. You got to pick one right now as a GM. For some reason, okay, you are, I'm not even going to say the Raiders.
Who's my offensive coordinator?
I don't know. The Jets don't have one either. So.
Because if you have a good offensive coordinator, you know what? All right, Aaron, you're 40, whatever now. See you later, Zach. Let's coach you up, baby.
No, just 1 season. You just have him for 1 season. It's not for a future. Because obviously, if it's the future, then you want the younger quarterback.
Just 1 season? Do I have weapons or nah? What's my offensive line look like?
Okay. Let's say, who's going to knock down his door? Not Seattle, not Atlanta, not Cincinnati, not Miami, not Arizona, not Dallas. Colts. Help teach Anthony Richardson something, please.
Jesus.
Anthony Richardson could use some guidance right now.
He looks so bad that Aaron Rodgers didn't look as bad as him, but that might actually work for the Indianapolis Colts. Because just a couple of years ago, they were a feisty little team, right? They were Jonathan Taylor was running over everyone, setting all types of records around the NFL. So for them to have fallen off so much,
Giants.
No, I think that Colts would be a much more viable landing spot for him because
right now, if the draft was to go, and let's say the Raiders got the #1 pick, and the Giants was not able to trade up, they would not get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. They really don't have any quarterback in the contract right now. I think it's Tyrod.
The Giants are screwed. That's what they get.
In that situation, you don't call Aaron Rodgers?
To come do what? What is he gonna? So hold on. To come help us look better losing? No, I'm not calling.
Because you gotta sell tickets, and right now the team you got ain't selling tickets. Listen, I don't know any Giants fan that would want to go to a game right now in the middle of December, January, outdoors to look at the Giants play.
Oh, so you're saying that if Aaron Rodgers is there, they're gonna at least come out in the winter?
Looks like something. You could sell that one. You could sell that dream.
I don't think you've seen how bad the Jets have looked this year with Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
But at least it's a name. Okay, fine. Let's say. So my question to you:
go get Gardner Minshew.
No. Oh, okay. So you really gonna go that far to go to Gardner Minshew? We just saw that experiment with the freaking Raiders.
I am finished with Aaron Rodgers. He is clearly proven to not be. I think you screw this one. The middle.
No, it's yeah.
Oh, so it's you gotta use the little star. Hold it in place and turn the.
Hold on. Take the mic out.
Turn the little
my mic.
flower.
My mic.
The flower shaped thing should be able to just screw back up.
It's not the flower. It's the top part.
No, that's how.
All right, hold my mic.
Pause, as the kids say.
Please stand by as I broke. This got to spin in there because I can't spin the flower. Yeah, no, it's not the flower.
All right, so we gotta completely unplug this.
What's that?
1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns.
Awkward. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Right. Well, the Ravens have managed to win this game while playing their starters.
No. You can still hear me. So listen, you gonna explain to me who the Giants gonna take if they can't draft a quarterback this offseason.
Oh, there are gonna be some available quarterbacks.
Okay, who?
Russell Wilson for one.
Let's say Russell comes back to the Steelers.
Brock Purdy's gonna be out there.
He's not gonna be a free agent.
Who else? The former Bengals quarterback, Carson something.
Not Carson. Carson. You mean Carson Wentz?
Oh no. Forget it. The redheaded guy.
Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton. There you go. He played in the NFL this year.
He did, and you're really gonna try to sell that?
I just know I'm done with Aaron Rodgers. I believe that as a competitor, he's going to try to come back and put a product on the field that looks better than what it was this year. It's not gonna mean anything. You're right. It's gonna have to be a team that is just really lost, didn't get the quarterback they wanted, and can't find anyone else. It's just it looks so bad this year. And you know what?
It did look bad. I'm not going to deny that.
And we were spoiled because we saw how Tom Brady make it look, and we figured, oh, okay, well.
And we thought the Jets had talent all the way around.
I thought you were going to add him between the fact that they already had Breece Hall, Gareth Wilson.
Yeah, no, you thought it would be kind of good, but it's not. I'm not denying Aaron Rodgers did not look good this season, but he ended the season looking better than how he started the season.
As a competitive player, I think he's going to try to come back and put something better on tape before he walks away.
Yeah, because I agree with you. He does not want his final season
to be this Jets fiasco. No.
But the thing is, he can also send me somewhere. Let me go somewhere else, and go. And the thing is, he believes he can still succeed. I know he still believes in himself. He doesn't want this to be his final season, to be the last thing he put on tape. He's gonna want to go over there and one up. And you know exactly what he wants to do when he does that? It wasn't me. It was the Jets. It was the organization. Did you hear? The Sun denied a trade because the Madden rating was too low. Yo, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. If it was me, that's exactly what I'd be doing. Yo, no, but for real, like I'm not gonna be like, yo, no, it wasn't me. It was the organization.
What do you want me to do? They got a 17-year-old kid using Madden ratings to make the decisions.
Aaron Rodgers, when he throws an inaccurate pass, blames the receiver for being in the wrong location. Okay, so you think if he can't blame a whole season on the organization as dysfunctional as the Jets?
Hey, I'm asking for help. He's got his 17-year-old kid looking through Madden ratings for damn help. No, I think we might have reached the point, and unfortunately it's because of the way things have gone this season. We might have reached the point where we have to have a serious conversation about Aaron Rodgers potentially being overrated. One Super Bowl victory.
I don't want to say overrated. I want to say underachieved. Because, okay, so I'll say this. I did have a friend, Aaron, who said this was when they drafted Jordan Love, the year they drafted Jordan Love. So it was like 4 or 5 years ago. He said that Aaron Rodgers is overrated. He only has one Super Bowl. And my defense of Aaron Rodgers at the time was that as a Patriots fan, I believe you are underestimating what it takes. Because it's like, if Aaron Rodgers is so good, he should have been in more Super Bowls. Tom Brady pretty much went to a Super Bowl every other year, on average. That is not normal. The only other person to do something at that frequency right now is Pat Mahomes. And the entire history of the NFL, no quarterback has gone to the Super Bowl as often as they have.
While I agree with you, Aaron Rodgers was one of those people that was constantly being compared to a Tom Brady. And so this is
No. I understand that one. But in the sense of saying that he's overrated because he hasn't won more championship, there's not many multiple Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. There's not many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. So, yes, did Tom Brady make it, I don't want to say make it look easy, but did he kind of like make it like, oh, if you're not a right now, the real thing is, if you're not a multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback, you're meh. Because you know exactly what people are going to say? No, you want to know exactly what people are going to say? Even Eli won too.
Yo, put some respect on Eli's name, okay? For a short period of time there, Eli was aight.
What short period? Just playoffs? That's it. It wasn't even the regular season.
Short period of time.
Seasons, he was not that great.
Oh, man.
You think they're going to sit him now?
Hold on. Does he have some type of incentive that's supposed to kick in?
No. Listen, I'm looking to make a parlay bet based off of all the incentives. Lamar Jackson was not in any of them.
How about Derrick Henry? Because it's 3 minutes left in the fourth.
Derrick Henry, yes. He just tied Jim Brown for the fourth most. And I believe he now just broke the record for most touchdowns for a Ravens running back in a season.
Okay, yeah, he had just had 15... Which was he tied the record at 15. That was touchdown number 16. Yeah. So you think it's safe now? 35 to 10.
You didn't need Lamar for Derrick Henry to break that record. You did not need Lamar. You did not. Okay, so
good for them.
What were we saying? Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, no. So I'm like, people, you're underestimating the value because right now, people are saying that Josh Allen is underachieved. But in actuality, he's going through an average or above average NFL quarterback's career path. I've made the playoffs. I had some heartbreaks in the playoffs. I haven't gotten to a Super Bowl just yet because the defending Super Bowl champs are the ones standing in front of me to get there.
Josh Allen might be one of those players like a Charles Barkley who just unfortunately played in the wrong era, or just the timing of when you were in the league. It was just
As much as great as he is, he's low-key like a Phillip Rivers. Great quarterback.
You're going to put up great numbers year in and year out. They're always going to talk about you potentially doing something.
I'm going to find this stat. Shoot. I got to find this. I really got to find this. So I don't necessarily think it was so much that he's overrated. It's just the value of the Super Bowl. People think it's too easy. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna read you. Let me see here. I'm gonna read you a stat line. This team was number one offense, and let me just see here. I'm trying to find the exact stuff they were at. Oh, this is every single game. I don't need all that. They had the number one offense and the number one defense in the season. And I believe number one rushing as well for all Pro Bowl players. Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, hold on.
Is this a modern team?
This, you could kind of say it was kind of modern.
Number one offense and defense?
They had the number one offense and the number one defense in yards allowed.
Can it be one of our Patriots teams?
No, it wasn't. It was definitely during the Patriots era. I'll say that much.
Then it's got to be a Colts team.
No, it wasn't the Colts team. I need to find it.
Number one offense and defense?
And it didn't make the playoffs.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the punchline. They didn't make the playoffs?
They did not make the playoffs. They had the number
Oh
one
my
offense.
goodness.
What?
Interception by Big Man.
He got some sort of incentive.
Hold on, show the replay on this, please. Big Man just got an interception. When defensive linemen are getting the interception, you know things are bad. My man looks like Ted Washington. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
See, the NFL has gotten away from nose tackles. He was this massive nose tackle that used to play for the Patriots. I forget where he was before that. He was kind of built along the lines of that guy from Washington that got paid, and we were talking about him. Yeah, he was built along those lines.
So, yeah, the Chargers in 2010 with Phillip Rivers had the number one offense and the number one defense.
Hold on, watch this. That's nuts.
And still couldn't finish. They finished with a 9-7 record and didn't make the playoffs.
He dropped in coverage. Zappy, what are you doing? Well, it's not Zappy's fault. That's the wide receiver.
Yo, that wasn't even a slide. I don't know if he was trying to slide on that. As a big boy, I understood. He was like, yo, bro, I need to make sure I get down and get up at the same time without looking like a damn fool.
I think linemen getting interceptions is one of the funniest things in the world.
Oh, they finally took them out.
Hold on. I think Lamar's still in the game.
There's no way that's tomorrow.
I swear that was number 8.
No way. That's malpractice.
I swear that was number 8 handing the ball off.
But like Phillip Rivers, you had the best offense and the best defense. Couldn't even make the playoffs.
How do you have the number one off?
Special teams is the reason they lost. Kickoff returns. So many kickoff returns.
That just broke my heart. You have the number one offense and the number one defense.
And LT in his prime. Number one offense.
2010
Antonio Gates. LT. Phillip Rivers.
And you still... Hold on. Wasn't Sean Merriman playing in the 2010
He was still playing
team?
at that. Yes, I believe he was still playing at that time.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, let me see. Phillip Rivers.
But see, ready? You see that stat that you just read off there? That's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of the NFL. Mm-hmm. In the NBA, you can usually go down. If I show you tonight's matchups, you can usually go down and at a pretty high clip, pick who's going to win and lose the games.
Yeah. And then still be wrong on half of them. But so anyway, so back to it. Is Josh Allen underachieving? Is he overrated? Is Josh Allen overrated?
I wouldn't say overrated because I don't think he's underachieving might be more appropriate. However, it's too soon to diagnose and call. Too early into his career. Now, he's had some early success, and typically when you have that type of success...
I guess my question, I would say is, who's had more conference championship appearances?
Between who and who?
Ever since Josh Allen's been in the league and Aaron Rodgers. I'm Googling it.
Josh Allen.
Shoot, this thing hurt.
Hold on, who has more conference championship appearances?
Yeah.
Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers.
No, there's no way, because I think Josh Allen only has one.
How many has Aaron Rodgers made to over the past... well, hold on. There was a period of time there where every year they just got...
The Packers went every year.
Yeah, they just couldn't get over the hump.
Josh Allen's only been to one in his career. And I had it right there. Come on now.
I'm a little salty, and I can admit that because I got sick and tired of people comparing Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady when Brady was doing nothing but winning, and he just...
No, and I could understand that.
Year in and year out was getting...
Aaron Rodgers wasn't winning. I can understand you a little salty about that. But let's see. So Aaron Rodgers has made 2 conference championship back-to-backs. The year before the last year in Green Bay, 2020 and 2021. And he also made one 2017, 2015, and 2011. He's been to 5.
And won 1 Super Bowl.
And won 1 Super Bowl, yeah. He's only won 1 conference championship.
1, 2, 3, 4, yep. It's too soon to tell with Josh Allen.
Yeah, but I'm just
based on I think when you have your franchise quarterback, the expectation is that this quarterback's going to perform and take you to multiple Super Bowls and win a few of them. You're right. We here in the New England area anyway, we were spoiled. We were spoiled because every year the season, and so the Chiefs fans. Yeah, yes. They're the current fan base that's being spoiled. And guess what? When Patrick Mahomes starts playing, you guys are going to be on the same boat we are. So I'm waiting patiently. But you're correct. Because you don't have too many multiple Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, when you have a Aaron Rodgers who only makes it 2 and wins 1, you tend to discount it a little bit, especially when you've had Tom Brady for the past X number of years and now follow that up with the Patrick Mahomes. He is underachieving. Because they've had both Aaron Rodgers and now Josh Allen have had significantly better offensive firepower than, say, what the Patriots had during their dominance.
Oh, for sure. Except for the year with Randy Moss.
That's you can just put a little asterisk there and always take that out.
Yeah. But even without that year, you could always say, on average.
Now, and this is where you can't, this is where the argument of, is it the quarterback or the coach? You really can't put too much in one particular basket, because I bet if we go back and we look at the defenses that Tom Brady has had compared to the defenses that, say, Aaron Rodgers has had, the Patriots probably year in and year out had a top 10 defense during this tenure.
The record, that's actually a really good point, because the only year that Aaron Rodgers ever made the Super Bowl was
probably had a defense.
A top 10 defense.
See? And so that's why, you can't have the conversation of, is it the coach, is it the quarterback? Well, it took both of those maniacal, crazy guys to come together to make this work the way that it did. Come on, Lamar, come out and just hand the ball off a couple more times. It's 24 seconds.
Hold on, I think we got some hate coming in our chat. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat.
Ooh, I hear you're stealing people's takes, Colin, you know what I mean?
Who?
Stealing AJ's takes. You're stealing AJ's takes. He was the first to call Josh Allen Phillip Rivers.
You called him Phillip Rivers?
That's what he deserves the MVP of a lot.
Listen, Lamar doesn't deserve. I'm not gonna say he doesn't deserve. He's put up numbers to get the MVP. Yes, but it's Josh Allen's MVP year. Again, like I said, I'll be highly upset and disappointed in NFL voters if it's not Josh Allen. Saquon Barkley, by sitting the last game of the year, you forfeited it. You gave it up. And I know that usually they say a player not needing to play the last week of the year should not knock them out of Super Bowl contention. But it's kind of like you said, the only reason he was in contention for the MVP was because of the record that he was going to break. Once you take that off the table,
you're just having another really good year for a running back.
2,000 yard running back, great year, everything like that, all that.
Oh, he's happy.
Yo, listen, he want that ball home. He's taking that ball home with him. First career pick.
Kids, gather around while I tell you about the day that I got the interception.
And I did a half slide. I did a slide / knee / everything in between. But no, we're about to wrap it up in a second here because the game's over. Ravens clinched the 3. And we're not going to be recording until 11 o'clock at night. At least I ain't going to.
Tune in. It's going to be a one-man show.
Yo, congratulations. I'll jump in and out. But all
right, so real quick before we go. You got Josh Allen as MVP. That's my pick as well. Despite the great numbers that everyone else is putting up, he's done the most with the least. If you were the Patriots, what are you doing? You're trading down, or you're picking at number 1?
The right answer, because for the Patriots, it's multiple things. It's multiple different venues. But I believe the right answer for what the Patriots should do is you trade it back. And honestly, trade it with the Raiders. Don't help the Giants. And not to say that I'm trying to be anti-Giants or anything like that. I sound compromised. Listen, just because I'm a Steelers fan don't mean about I don't want Lamar Jackson or whatever. It's just that Josh Allen has done more with less. Okay? That's just what it is. And you see, now people gonna hate and like your comment for no reason.
Yeah, that was me. Okay.
What was I gonna say? What was I saying?
So trade back. It's a multitude of things to
Honestly,
do.
you should trade back with the Raiders. You could probably get more from the Raiders because Raiders drafting a quarterback. They're still gonna have like a top 12 pick. The Giants get a quarterback. I'm not too guaranteed on that. I'm not saying that the Giants are a quarterback away. I'm saying that the Giants could succeed more with one quarterback than that.
Okay. Do the Cincinnati Bengals make the playoffs?
No.
Okay. That's all I got.
Do you think they do?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. No, they didn't. They haven't played great. Joe Burrow has put up amazing offensive numbers, but the team itself lacks a defense. It would be hard for me. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Burrow came out and had a Joe Burrow game and they beat the Steelers. Just as I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers beat them.
But
I don't think they make the playoffs. No.
Yeah, because they need three things to happen.
They need to win. Steelers loss.
Well, no, not Steelers loss.
Well,
they win, and then they need the Chiefs to win with their backups against the Broncos, who are winning in. And even if for some reason the Chiefs do win with their backups, they need the Jets to beat the Dolphins.
Two teams that have nothing to play for. So.
Well, no, Dolphins. The Broncos
lose. The Dolphins are still on the bubble.
Yeah, if the Broncos lose and the Dolphins win, they're in. I don't know.
Okay.
Who do you? Because we're not gonna stream tomorrow. Who gets the number one seed in the NFC? Vikings or Lions?
First of all, let's appreciate for a second. Look at the two teams that we're talking about at the top of the NFC: the Vikings and the Lions. That should be apprieted.
More than the Vikings, the Lions for sure.
Yeah, that should be really appreciated.
It should give the Browns hope.
That one day, they too can be being discussed at the top of the league. I think no shot to what they've done down there in Minnesota, but I think I like what the Lions have built. I was one of those guys that used to look at Dan Campbell because of who the Northeastern coaches that we've had up here. I used to look at Dan Campbell and said, "Oh, geez, that's not going to work in the NFL. What? These guys are going to buy in for a week and then it's going to be over." However, he's
kept them engaged.
He's his authentic self. The players appreciate that and they're locked in.
I'm sorry, I know this is going to sound so bad. I'm calling him the white Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
Even more rah-rah. I feel like he's Mike Tomlin with Gronk mixed in one.
You know he was a former tight end, right?
Yes, exactly.
He was. Exactly. I saw some plays. He was kind of a bit Gronkish before Gronk. He was really a big boy.
He was a big boy. He was a very big boy. But I really feel like he has Tomlin's leadership and Gronk's like fire.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying Mike Tomlin doesn't have fire. Mike Tomlin definitely has fire, but Dan Campbell is so more expressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Mike Tomlin really, sometimes in his interviews, he be sitting over here, he be doing like some smart answers and whatnot. But it's just like Dan Campbell's like I'm gonna trigger the kneecaps.
I swear he loses his voice after every single week.
I swear, man. Like this man's voice is naturally raspy. But yeah, nah. So, sheesh. What was I gonna say? So who's
Dan
next?
Campbell.
You got
So the Lions. No disrespect to what they've done to Minnesota. Listen, Sam Darnold, we've talked about this. Sometimes it's the organization you get drafted in. I'm happy to see that he's found somewhere to go to turn around. Just like Baker Mayfield, I'm happy to see that he's in Tampa Bay performing.
I have to ask you this question now. We're going to have to keep the stream going a little longer. The Vikings, do they re-sign Sam Darnold?
Isn't he on a short-term deal right now? Just as...
It's 1 year. He's a free agent at the end.
And their quarterback, McCarthy, what was it?
I think it was an ACL injury.
He didn't even get to play at all this year.
He played in the preseason, but he actually won the starting job over Sam Darnold during the preseason in training camp.
They're going to have to let Sam go and find another backup. Because Sam's played himself into
a bag. Yes. Into more of a bag than Russell Wilson. For sure.
Yes. Better record. He's absolutely younger than Russell Wilson.
Yep.
We can look at his prior issues as just a hiccup.
There's been people are saying that you tell JJ McCarthy to take the Jordan Love route, just sit down, shut up, and learn.
Learn from who? Aaron Donald? Sam Darnold?
Yeah, you re-signed Sam Darnold, and he brought you to a 12-2 record. That's what people are saying.
Yes, using the system that was designed for the next guy. Cool, you made this work, but this is the guy that we designed this for.
I do believe it's a conundrum.
It wouldn't be the worst thing because you wouldn't be putting so much pressure on the young kid to come back and perform out of his mind in year one, coming back from an injury where next season is technically going to be his rookie season. It's not a horrible idea. However, what happens if Sam Darnold continues to perform now? Because if you're going to keep him, you're going to have to give him a 3-4 year deal. You're going to have to give him something similar to what Russell Wilson's going to get in the offseason.
He deserves more than Russell Wilson. And if he's smart, you're going to want to milk it. You're going to want more than Russell. You're going to want more years. You're going to want a 4-year deal.
In which case, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, where I need to continue building around this young quarterback of mine, why would I invest so much money in the quarterback position?
That's a good question, but at the same time, you're just going to let him walk away for free? Yeah, you don't have a choice.
Absolutely. Okay. He came here for free. Listen. That's like finding money in a pant pocket that you didn't know was there, and then you go out and you get all of these things that you needed but just couldn't afford at the time. So you know what? Cool. Once that money's gone, well, I got everything that I could get, and time to move on. Yeah, you let him go. You let some other sucker roll the dice and hope that he can. Don't forget, the Minnesota Vikings were pretty well built.
It's a pretty full roster.
Ready right now type team.
Well-built team. So
yeah, I let him go, unfortunately. Because we've seen this before. We've seen quarterbacks have.
You want to hear the funniest meme? I don't think anyone commented anything. Oh, actually, someone did. You want to hear the funniest meme? I heard this from one of my friends. AJ knows. He heard this. We went from choosing Shedeur Sanders, the Giants went from choosing Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward to asking if they're going to get Sam Darnold. Or Russell Wilson.
That's funny.
Okay, yes, no. So he's bringing up a point. Sam Darnold has weapons with that team. Yes, he does. AJ's brought up a point where he said Jetta, Jordan Addison, and Hawkinson. Yes, he does have weapons. So you go with the rookie quarterback and you tell Sam Darnold best of luck?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the question, right?
Because the rookie's gonna ready. McCarthy's probably the best situated rookie because of the amount of weapons that he has around him.
Market for Sam Darnold, right? Just for shits and giggles. Kansas City don't need him if he's looking to start. Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota. Minnesota's out of it. Buffalo's out of it. Philadelphia's out of it. Baltimore's out of it. Commanders are out of it. Pittsburgh maybe, if we decide to go with Sam Darnold the over thing, which I hope we don't. Green Bay, no. The Rams, I don't know what Matthew Stafford's contract is looking like, but the Rams system is not too far off the Vikings system. The coach came from the Rams coaching tree.
Also, how old is Stafford now? Now might be the time they start.
Yeah, but the contract, can they do that? So let's see here. Can Rams cut Stafford? Oh, they can. So he's really, they would save $27 million against the cap if they cut him after June 1st. So,
and he's 36 years old. Okay, ready? This is the exact type of player that potentially gets cut for salary cap reasons.
$27 million. They would save $27 million.
36-year-old quarterback who.
So you cut Matt Stafford to get Sam Darnold, which you've seen Sam Darnold succeed in your offense that is being run in Minnesota. The head coach for the Minnesota Vikings was the OC when Cooper Kupp had the Triple Crown.
Okay.
I'd do it if I'm the Rams. I want you to cut him. Actually, yeah, no. That's the team that wants him. Forget everything else. That's the team that wants him. The Rams want him, but let's keep going. Not the Chargers, not the Bucks, not the Broncos, not the Texans, not Seattle, because they are fooled by Geno Smith. I'm not convinced. Not the Falcons, not Cincinnati, not Miami, not the Cardinals. I really gotta take a look into. Not can the Rams cut Stafford? Now I gotta look. Can the Cardinals? When can the Cardinals
cut Kyler?
Cut Kyler, yeah.
Go play baseball, buddy.
So no, they can't cut him at any point. They're nowhere near ready to cut him.
Look at Matt Stafford. 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, about 3,700 yards on the year.
Ooh.
He's played in all the games. Wow.
He can't. His contract is till 2028.
Stafford's?
No, Kyler Murray.
So this is year 2 or 3 of the deal that he last redid? The one that called for him?
Year 1.
Oh! You remember the big hoopla over they did his contract and he had to do X number of hours of studying because...
I guess the contract just kicked in. This was the first year for it.
Then, okay, so he's not going anywhere.
He's not going nowhere. Yeah, no, they're stuck with him. Damn, they're stuck with him. Yeah, nah, so the Rams are the only one that wants Sam Darnold. I can't see anyone else that would want him.
What if
good luck to your Panthers in the upcoming season. Adrian's just saying he's out of here. But
what if the Titans do try to speed up their process by getting Sam Darnold and then keeping...
If who?
If the Titans.
So, are you saying the Titans sign Sam Darnold to a 4-year deal, trade the second pick away to get more capital, and build around Sam Darnold?
Or keep the second pick. Sign Sam Darnold because he's going to be a free agent. It's not going to cost you anything other than money.
Mm-hmm.
And then use your pick to fill out the squad based on what you think.
That would be crazy. And the Patriots would think they were going to get Travis Hunter at 4 or 5.
So, for example, that's the talk we had about, okay, hey, what if these other teams call your bluff? Okay, Titans, you know what?
No,
and granted, Titans wouldn't be the team that would betray with the Patriots because so please.
Per se, because the Titans would be signing Sam Darnold way before the draft. So
yeah, so it would be known.
Then we know that they're not doing it. So then, therefore, the Patriots, I don't want to say they lose leverage in trading away the pick, because the thing is, the Titans, you trade for the Titans pick, no matter what you say, you didn't get your pick. You got who was left. Although you got who was left at the top 2, it's better than getting who's left at number 10.
I think the Titans were pretty competitive a few years ago. It all went downhill when they traded away A.J. Brown for a bag of popcorn and 2 nickels.
Yeah, no, that was completely horrible.
And then they got rid of Vrabel. So they were on the team. They were a team that was trending up in the right direction, in my opinion, and have somewhat flatlined in terms of, okay, what exactly are you guys doing? You sign Darnold, you get Travis Hunter, bring him in. He's going to sell some tickets. You're going to hopefully figure out how to use him.
Who's the head coach for the? Who's from the? Yeah, who's the head coach? The Titans head coach, right?
Mm-hmm. Brian Callahan. He was an OC for the Bengals. Yeah, no, because he could say I'm done with. First off, they should. If we have questions about Anthony Richardson, we got answers on Will Levis. I like the way that was stated. Yeah.
Okay.
Levis is not him. We know that for a fact. And
he became a verb in the worst possible way. So you go Sam Darnold. Titans go Sam Darnold. Again, you still should trade back. But let's say you don't trade back. You get Travis Hunter.
If you sign Sam Darnold, you could really afford to go significantly further back. But if you're trying to speed up the rebuild process and the competitive process, you stay where you are.
No. Okay, so what Titans needs right now, in my opinion, are quarterback, for sure. They got the running back. They got the running back room. I think they got Calvin Ridley. So, I don't want to say Calvin Ridley's a bona fide receiver, but he is a good receiver.
He's a productive receiver.
Yeah,
I would say
he's not a Pro Bowl number 1, but you're not gonna be hurt because of him being your number 1.
Agreed.
My favorite quote of the season was like, "Oh, you had 5 passes targeted, 5 targets to you this in today's game, and you only caught." Or he had like 7 targets in this game. You only caught like 2 passes. He literally asked, in pure genuine curiosity, he's like, "I had 7 targets?" That's how bad the passes were. Favorite quote. Actually, no, that's my second favorite quote. You know what my number 1 favorite quote is for NFL from the offseason into in the season? They asked Jackson Smith Njigba from the Seattle Seahawks. Their offensive coordinator became the offensive coordinator for the Bears. And he sat over here and asked him, "Oh, what are your thoughts with whatever the name of the offensive coordinator is going to the Bears now? Like, how good's the offense going to be?" And he laughed. Like, wait, oh, he's really the offensive coordinator over there?
That's messed up.
And then he was like, good luck, have fun.
Their offensive coordinator is trash.
He got fired.
I've seen Dan Orlovsky break down some of these plays on Twitter. He does this thing where he breaks down the plays in slow motion, frame to frame. In Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Why so cheap?
Because it's cold. Bro, listen, you don't get parking. You know how we walk to the Patriots Stadium? You got to do that at Pittsburgh.
How far?
Over a bridge.
Is it more than a mile? Because that's about what we walked for.
It's about a mile, if not more. The closer you are, the more you pay in the garages. And it's not like, oh, lots or whatnot. There is no lots. You're in downtown Pittsburgh. So therefore, you got to park in the garage.
It doesn't sound fun.
Yo, listen, that walk is that bridge to the right. That one you see to the right. You got to walk all across that bridge, cut through that city to get to the stadium.
It looks nice from at night.
Yes, it looks wonderful. It's a pretty place to be at. In the stadium, it's pretty, it's nice. I like the stadium. I hate the walk. I told myself, by the way, if we ever go to a Steelers game, we're gonna get the hotel that's right next door. I don't care how much money it is. We're getting that hotel, okay? Because at least I get to park there because it's included. But yeah, no, it was $15 for a ticket.
Nosebleeds or how high up?
Do you know it's like single digits right now over there?
I couldn't tell.
It's close to that. Not to compare it to the negatives, but it's barely. It's not even 20 for sure. It's lower than 15.
What's the name of your stadium?
Akashia. Sure. I can't pronounce it. It's the bank. But yeah, no. So Titans,
hold on, playoff implication. Well, hold on. They've clinched.
They've clinched.
Their really position can only be worse. So, No, listen. I'm not a December. I'm a September football guy in the New England area. Okay, anything outside of September,
better be a stadium. I'll travel to go to a stadium, but then them stadium game tickets are actually so expensive because I was trying to go to the Steelers versus Colts. I saw how bad the Colts were going to be. I didn't think they were going to be good. And I thought that, okay, wait till the Colts lose like 1 or 2 games and the ticket price is going to go down. It never went down. You wanna know why? Because they're like, we're a stadium.
Okay. Hey, we just close our roof and get comfortable.
So, Titans, Sam Darnold. You take
Travis Hunter,
or another receiver, a full-time receiver. Travis Hunter wants to play both sides. And as great as a talent that is to have.
That's what he wants, and that's cool and dandy. Once you get drafted, you're gonna do what we tell you to do. If we find more value than you putting you on this side of the ball, that's where we're gonna put you, and you're gonna just be happy about it.
So you're gonna lie to him and say, yeah?
What do they have a greater need at, wide receiver or cornerback? I approach it from that perspective. If I have a greater need at wide receiver, so if what I'm looking to do is pair somebody with Calvin Ridley, I put him on the offensive side of the ball and let him play sparingly on defense.
Slot corner.
Hey, you know how they used to bring Gronk in just before the half?
There's no way he's going to run 100% offense, 100% defense.
Correct. It's impossible. They're not doing that in the NFL.
No way. So you would do... you could do 100% defense or 100% offense.
Correct.
And 25% of the other one. Maybe 30. Like if you do all the defense.
The other part of that is this isn't college. This is now the professionals. How do you now during the week balance out the responsibilities of A, getting your offensive game plan, and then B, yes, so how do you balance that?
Yeah, because you can't be in both meetings at once.
In college, you could still get away with, I'm an NFL prospect. You're going to be an accountant next week. Okay? You're going to be working somewhere in a suit and a shirt and a tie. I'm still going to be playing. Okay, great. Once you make it to the NFL, everyone's a professional. Everyone does this for a living, and Santonio Holmes, check this out. So yeah, how do you, I would find it very difficult for him to balance those responsibilities.
I want that hoodie.
But I think that would be a viable play for the Titans if they're trying to somewhat really speed up the process here.
It'd be your best opportunity too. So
you sign the quarterback. Granted, he's not going to be on one of those rookie quarterback deals, so you have to kind of execute relatively quickly here. But you sign the quarterback, you bring in the versatile weapon in Travis Hunter, and then you beef up the defense. See what that gets you.
I think if I'm the Titans, I get it, and I know Travis Hunter is really good at both, but I'd rather get me a full-time wide receiver. I'll trade back and let someone else take Travis Hunter. He deserves to be that spot. But in my team needs, I don't need a multi-position player like that. If I got my quarterback and I got my running back, I really need a second wide receiver.
And that's what you tell him if you want to bring him in. Because he's a really dynamic player. He really is.
But he's a better defender.
Game changer.
He's a better defender than he is.
I've read a lot of things about him that said that, the way that he moves is so effortless. Like he should be made into into a defender.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's what reports are saying. Like he's a way better defender than he is offensively. So with that being said, I think I'd rather a person who can focus 100% of that. Who got crossed that bad? Who was 25? That wasn't Fitzpatrick. How did? Yeah, the defensive coordinator is like, yo, how did you? He stopped running a while ago, and you kept running straight. What was that? Yo, hold up, who's 25? Because there's no way that was Joey. That was no way that was Peasy. No, I don't believe that was Peasy. Ain't no way that was not Joey Porter Jr. Who was 25? Deontay Jackson, or Dante Jackson?
He's one of the safeties. He's not a. Oh, hold on. Is he a corner? Ooh.
Sean Elliott. Yeah, that was the safety.
Look what a quarterback can do. See that window?
Yes. And you want to know the other thing is? He also threw it in a position that not only his receiver could get it, but didn't put him in harm's way where he could get cracked by the safety or corner.
That's what I told you.
Higgins, he's going to be the number one wide receiver available next year in the offseason. He's the guy you guys want. You want T. Higgins.
Amazing to watch all these former Patriots players go into these other teams. And, oh, look, he's a oh, no, that was Burrow with the captain. Okay. They go into these other teams. Jonnu Smith was looking nuts down in Miami. Mike Gesicki looking like, look at this. Oh, somehow he was not ever able to get any separation in New England. But here in Cincinnati, he's running wild.
I'm pretty sure you guys didn't have an offense either. You had a defense.
Details. Don't let the details get in the way of my ranting.
Crazy. We started off the game with a good stop on first down, and then it's just been first down.
This is a high-powered offense you guys are playing up against this week.
We're supposed to be a championship caliber defense. Steelers are not supposed to be a championship caliber defense.
Cam Hayward, Michael Porter Jr., Micah Fitzpatrick,
Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, thank you, Michael Porter. That's a basketball player.
TJ Watt.
Oh, geez, the biggest piece. That should have been the first name that I mentioned. Hayward, Watt on the line, Minka patrol in the back. Yeah, actually, you guys are a playoff defense. Yes, playoff, not championship. Playoff.
Top 5 defense. We're supposed to be top 5 defense. 70% of our cap goes towards our defense.
I'm rocking with that. Okay.
Because mainly our offense is really George Pickens. We pretty much got all rookies and second year on the offensive line. Yeah, that's Chase.
It's amazing when you watch their offense just click down the field like this and look this way, and they're in 8-18. So the defense looks that bad. Nice throw, leading the wide receiver out away from the defender. Oh. One opening drive touchdown in the last 24 games versus the Steelers. That's wild.
Well, let's not break that streak now. Interception. Don't dive so early. What are you doing, Dante? God damn, they're dicing us up.
They're not doing anything deep. It's just all 7-8 yards a pop. Joe Burrow, 5 for 5.
As we're about to wrap up this stream, as I go
for real this time,
ballistic watching the Steelers, hopefully win, so that we could play the Texans next year. We got a few videos coming for you in upcoming weeks. We're gonna be doing mock drafts. We're gonna be doing an early mock draft with teams that did not make the playoffs. 2 picks per video, where we're gonna be talking about the Titans trade Right now, we're gonna do no free agent signing. We're gonna do rosters as is.
Correct.
For the early one. So we're just gonna be like, so for the Titans, we're not going to assume they got Sam Darnold. We're just going to assume that they need to draft somebody. And then we're gonna have that coming up for you. That's gonna be there, and then we're also gonna be doing playoffs reaction, obviously.
Playoff push.
On the weekends. And then as the playoffs are going on, as more teams get eliminated, their position is solidified. So therefore, we're gonna be able to do more videos on drafts for the teams that get knocked out the playoffs. We're also gonna switch towards basketball.
That's right. The season's ongoing. I know a lot of you don't pay any attention to it until the Super Bowl's over. Well, guess what? A few weeks away from that.
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that. We're also going to this year. Marvel, DC is going to start releasing some movies and some shows. I didn't watch What If. I haven't watched any of the. I watched the first season What If. I didn't really like. It's all right.
That's been my problem. I just started watching the second season because I realized there was a third season that I didn't even. Nothing special.
We'll react to some anime stuff, some Marvel comic book stuff. We're gonna add that stuff, and obviously, if you guys have seen in the intro and the outro, we haven't talked about anything viral. Oh yeah, we're gonna bringing up some viral videos.
Work in progress. We're still working on that.
We're still trying to figure out the best way to plan all this stuff out. But have you seen the video of it wasn't even a video, it was a picture of the girl. I'm gonna have to find it. But pretty much she said something along the lines of you always been there by my side, even when we were together and I cheated on you and you took me back. And even when I left you and got married and I wanted you to be my side nigga, you still decide to be there for me. There'll never be, this is true love, and I will never, ever not appreciate you. Posted this picture and everything. Happy birthday.
Okay,
well. When people are coming at her, she dropped a video like, y'all don't know what true love is. That's true love.
Okay, stay tuned for Seeing That viral moments like that.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna be talking about more like videos like that. And just a quick preview. How would you feel about your wife taking pictures with celebrity at a meet and greet, like those Chris Brown photos?
See, my wife and I, we've had these conversations. She knows how to act in public. So this would never be a problem.
Okay, so she ain't gonna bend over, twerk over.
No, my wife would be very conservative. Usher would come over with the cherry. She would say, "Oh, I got that. Thank you." Yeah, we've had these talks. Listen, you have to figure these things out before you put in these situations. I've seen way too many of these things go left. When I see them, hey, listen, see this? Nah, we're not doing this. Listen, I nearly lost my mind at the hibachi place when they squirt the little tequila in the. Nah, we're not doing that, bro.
It's sake, by the way.
There you go.
But all right, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of those videos coming up for you. Right now we're just really focusing on just NFL content.
Get everything up and running.
Yeah, and then also starting off, so you're gonna see like the background here is gonna be changing and stuff like that. So obviously we're a channel in growth, in progress. Did they really miss the field? Did it go out of bounds?
That was a kickoff that didn't make it down the field. I don't understand what happened.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, the game. Wow. So they're showing me Russell Wilson's stat 6-4 record. 60%. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, we're a channel that's growing. We're going to get our social media account page up, so you will be seeing tweets. Follow us on Twitter.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
All right, and I appreciate the new subscribers we got. I believe we got 3 subscribers. One of the new subscribers actually came from. I was at a final story, and then this could be the thing that we ended with. So I went to a restaurant, La Pearl. I probably should not have said the name. I'm not gonna say everything. I'm just gonna say some things. So went there, and I don't know if he's the owner or if he's co-owner or if he's the husband to the owner. I don't know who. He's like probably manager, definitely up there. And there was another guy at the bar. It was me, him, another guy at the bar. And I was watching the Steelers game at the bar. And he was like, "Oh no, I had to give up one of my vices to end the year, so I'm not drinking. But come January 1st, I'm gonna drink again." It was kind of like he was doing like a dry December, just to kind of like, because everyone has their vice. Some people it's alcohol, some people and that's what we started talking about. Oh, what are your 3 vices? What are your 3 vices? What are your 3 vices? And whatnot. Some things were said I'm not going to say. So, but one of them was really like alcohol and whatnot. And one of them that I said was sometimes the need to feel to keep busy.
As a vice?
Sometimes you just need to sit down and relax. And the not allowing yourself to relax is why I consider it a vice.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I will say this, ever since we started this, watching Steelers games, yes, I still get annoyed, but now I'm watching games more in the way of how to comment on the game rather than just watching the game to watch.
And out of frustration. Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So I was like, I kind of took that away from me. And I'm not too mad about that because it's pretty fun to talk about the game. But then you kind of like, it's like the same way when a person starts DJing, you never go to the club and hear music the same way again. You're listening to when you start DJing, you start listening to the DJs in the club or whatever, or on the radio. And because when they do a fire transition, you're like, they slowed it down by half a beat. Then they did this when they did a high pass filter. You hear that. Well, why? Because you want to do it yourself. Like that was a fire transition. I need to learn how to do that. What do you do? Definitely heard the flanger in there. I heard the high pitch, the high pass filter. No, he went low. He slowed this one down, and then he definitely did a beat match. Or did wordplay. You hear that stuff, so it changes. It doesn't mean that you don't want to go to the club or go listen to DJs or whatever, but it's more or less like your mind changes.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, I got you.
So I was mentioning that one, so then they were like, "Oh," and I explained to them like about the video. Like, okay, cool, let's subscribe. So I don't remember your name, my guy. I do know you're one of them, and I do know you have the notification turned on. So if you're watching, appreciate it. But we're gonna start promoting the channel and whatnot. But no, that conversation with Device. He was like, "Man, I work in a bar, and liquor is one of my vices." I was like, "Oof." He's like, "I would drink an Irish coffee." Somebody said that. I'm not gonna say who said it. I would drink an Irish coffee to start my day because I need myself some coffee. I need myself some liquor. I was like, "Damn."
He has an alcohol issue and works at a bar.
That's the thing, though. Is it an alcohol issue? Do we consider alcohol issue? Because technically, people would say that we have an alcohol issue the way we drink on vacation.
I'm out. Speak for yourself. I drink like that only on vacation.
Yeah, some people would say that's an alcohol issue.
No, because we're taking a couple of vacations a year, so maybe 2 to 3 times a year you're doing that. No, it's not a problem if you do something 2 to 3 times a year. But those 8 o'clock shots in the morning, that was pretty fun.
Yo,
start the day off right.
Listen.
Breakfast shots.
I remember the one time I really got drunk before lunch. I was like, "Yo," ended up going to the room, take a break. I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go rest this off." That was crazy.
All right. But yeah, I'm with them. Vices. Yeah. That's an interesting one.
We were just talking about vices and whatnot, and I was just like, sometimes it's good to take a break from your vices and everything like that. And then, it was just an interesting thing. I was gonna mention something else that happened at the restaurant, but then I decided that that's not a good thing to mention. So therefore, I'm not gonna mention. That's why I started the story with that intent, and then as I was talking and I was thinking, I was like, I probably should not mention that.
Thought it through a little bit more.
Like a bro code type of thing. Like that don't need to be aired out. But anyway, viral stuff. Channel's gonna grow. Stay with us. You're gonna see some very interesting stuff coming up soon. And then other than that, anything to add?
Don't forget to like, subscribe. We appreciate all the subscribers. Thank you for the help.
All right, cool.
We'll see you guys next week.
You'll know we definitely upgraded when we get a new background because we got to do it every year.
We're working on it.
Yeah.